pregame show. Got a great matchup on tap between the Carolina Academy Trojans coming in at 2-2, facing off against our Pendleton Bulldogs, who after the bye week have a 1-3 record so far this season. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley with you here tonight. This is Pendleton High School football brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. We are very honored that you have joined us tonight. David, it's great to be with you tonight.
Sam, so great to be with you on this wonderful night of high school football. 80 degrees throughout the day, now sitting at around 73 degrees in lovely Cunningham Stadium. The people are here, and they're looking forward to a big-time matchup of teams trying to get back right in Carolina Academy and Pendleton.
Absolutely, and we will bring you inside the stadium for the benediction and the national anthem brought to you by Pendleton Historic Foundation.
Gift of this game and for the chance to gather here as one community. We ask for your protection over every person here tonight. Help keep the players and cheerleaders safe from injury on both teams. We also pray that everyone treats one another with kindness, that the game is played with good sportsmanship, and that we all return home safely. May we remember that we are truly blessed no matter the outcome. In your holy name we pray, amen.
As the national anthem is played, we welcome all military veterans to salute. All others should place their right hand over their heart.
Beautiful rendition of our national anthem, as always, brought to us by Pendleton Historic Foundation and the Pride of Pendleton Marching Band, the 2024 state champions. Shout out to them, as always. Well, David, last season, Carolina Academy was on the schedule for the Bulldogs, and that's a game that ended up being canceled due to the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, which was actually a year ago tomorrow. So we haven't gotten a look at the Trojans program, but a team that's coming off of a win, and they're 2-2 overall this season. You've kind of got two teams that might have varying levels of confidence tonight.
Carolina coming off a win means a lot for that program because they have not had a winning season since 2011-12 when they went 8-5. Since their 2006 relocation to their current campus, they have only had one winning season. That is crazy. That only winning season came in 2011-12. Their last win against Pendleton was in 2013 when they won on October 18th, 27-21, right here in Cunningham Stadium. So I think that win for them last week means the world. Now, for Pendleton last week, means the world as well. You get healthy, you have a bye week, you need to re-game plan and reprogram after a really tough loss to Powdersville and a couple games earlier on in the season that you wish you had back.
Absolutely. Looking back at those games, it was in week 0 that the Bulldogs traveled to Chesney and dropped that one 35-21. Definitely a game that they had opportunities and would like to have back. And then think about, I guess, 3 weeks ago today, when Pendleton welcomed the Woodmont Wildcats into Cunningham Stadium and really had an exciting finish to the game, came back from down 14 points, ultimately led a 2-minute drill drive to force overtime, a really exciting play over the middle from Dax Allen to Ty Miller in that one for a 42-yard touchdown to send it to overtime. But ultimately you dropped that one, and then before the bye week, like you said, just really struggled to move the ball or to get stops against that Powdersville team. So definitely a situation off the bye, like you said, that the Bulldogs are really trying to get things going in the right direction.
And even in their lone win of the season, losing Jackson Allman to that injury was tragic. So it feels like just when things are going right for the Bulldogs, they catch another bad break.
Absolutely. As we delve into the historical aspects of this matchup, it is the 12th meeting all-time between the two programs. Pendleton does lead the series 8-3. As David mentioned, the last win for Carolina over Pendleton coming right here in Cunningham Stadium in 2011 by a score of 27-21. We know Grayson Howell, head coach for Pendleton, in his 5th season as Pendleton's head coach. For Carolina Academy, it's Chris Glover in his 4th season as the head coach of the Trojans, and he has a 7-27 overall record. So definitely not a program used to much success like we've outlined, but definitely a team that is capable of beating some teams at bigger schools like we've seen this season. They boast wins over Berea and Southside, both schools that are much bigger than them in Greenville County, and they lost this season to Eastside and to Fountain Inn. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for helping us bring you Pendleton Bulldog football each and every Friday night. Of course, our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse, also Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Kitten Chili Ice Cream Truck, West Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, Foothills Community Church, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, United Community Bank, Mac.Bid, Absolute Law Firm, Ken Rowland State Farm, and Empire Homes. We'll take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors, and on the other side, we will have the leading up to kickoff here at Cunningham Stadium between the Carolina Academy Trojans and the Pendleton Bulldogs. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun jungle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Kitten Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years. Sam Goodrow, David Boley, back with you here from Cunningham Stadium in beautiful Pendleton, South Carolina. Got a good matchup on tap tonight for you between the Carolina Academy Trojans and your Pendleton Bulldogs. Carolina Academy coming into tonight's game 2-2 overall this season after a 1-9 season last year. Bulldogs coming in 1-3 after 4 games and a bye week. Most recently, a loss 35-7 at the hands of the Powdersville Patriots. Captains for tonight's contest, first for the visiting Carolina Academy Trojans, number 1, senior Jordan Elman Sanders, number 2, senior DJ Brown, senior number 9, Jordan Rice, and senior number 72, Jeremiah Wells. For your Bulldogs, senior number 2, the quarterback, Dax Allen. Running back number 9, the senior Brace Spear. Senior defensive back and wide receiver number 21, Mikey Harrison. And senior running back and linebacker number 23, Deshaun Jenkins. Both teams are getting ready for action. The dog walk has already commenced. Both teams looking to take the field here shortly. So with that, we will have our uniform report brought to you by Black Tie of Anderson. The Bulldogs donning their black uniforms with gold helmets, gold letters, and gold stripes on the pants and the shoulders. Here come the Bulldogs taking the field. For the Carolina Academy Trojans, they are wearing navy pants with gold stripes, white jerseys with orange numerals, and navy helmets. That is your uniform report brought to you by Black Tie of Anderson. Now David with the keys to the game.
Absolutely. First key to the game, I think, is going to be how each team's let last week roll over into this game. Obviously, the win for Carolina Academy, just an incredible feat to surpass their win total from last season when they're not even halfway through this one. 2-2 with a 6-0, grueling defensive win last week. And with Pendleton, they get a bye week. They get a chance to reset. They get a chance to re-game plan, to try and re-envision this season and hopefully recapture something, because they will be headed to the playoffs. It's just a matter of if they can do anything when they get there. So that's the first key. The second key is going to be conditioning versus depth. Pendleton has 52 players on their roster, while Carolina Academy only 40. And not even all of those 40 are going to be suited up tonight and be playing a significant role in the game. So is conditioning going to play a bigger factor, or is depth going to play a better factor for the Bulldogs? And lastly, Brace Spear. Last year, he had 12 carries and 80 yards in the opener versus Chesney in the first game last season. On this season, through 4 games, he's got 12 carries and only 69 yards. That is not what you want from your bell cow running back. And whether it's been health, whether it's been Pendleton just getting down early and not being able to run the ball as quickly as you'd like, Carolina Academy allowed over 280 rushing yards in their first 2 games. So Spear is in a position where they can give him the ball and he can get yardage. He can constantly go tonight against Carolina Academy.
Bulldogs will be receiving the opening kickoff of the game. Lining up to do the honors for the Carolina Academy Trojans, senior number 22, Norberto Godinez. Back deep to return for the Bulldogs, Sam Jennings and Jace Harrison Whitner. Game 5 of the season for the Pendleton Bulldogs, about to get underway. A lot of buzz in the crowd tonight. Parks and Recreation Association night. We got a lot of kids from the Recreation Department that were on the field pregame, and they're looking to cheer on their Bulldogs. The kick is away. It's going to take a bounce at the 24-yard line and picked up at the 20 by Calhoun Mize. He reverses field to the 25. Can't quite get to the 30 before being tackled by number 7, Timothy Fowler. So the Bulldogs will have it on their own 29-yard line. They'll actually give them the 30 now to start the opening drive.
Sam mentioned Brace Fear and my keys to the game. Didn't really talk much about Dax Allen, but it's been really interesting to see his progression throughout the season. Obviously, thrown into the starting quarterback role after the injury to Jackson Allman, has been throwing it more in recent weeks as he's gotten more comfortable. It's going to be very important to balance Spear's ability to thrash this defense and allow Allen some confidence with the deep ball.
Spear in at running back, joining the quarterback Dax Allen on the opening play of the game. Coming in motion now from left to right is Mellow Mattress, so 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. Going from right to left, the Bulldogs will hand it to Spear on first down. Spear looking to bounce it outside, but he's tackled for loss by number 12, Amir Abercrombie.
First play going outside, Abercrombie does a really good job of setting that edge as a linebacker position, playing outside, and just tackling Spear by the shoestrings of the tackle. It's got to really get him going inside of his offensive lineman's numbers.
Loss of 1 on the play now under center. Taking the snap is Allen. He'll fake the handoff and bootleg out to the right. He has a receiver, Ty Miller, over the middle, but it's off of Miller's hands, incomplete at the 35-yard line. There is a flag that comes in from the back judge. Nice crossing route by Ty Miller, but unfortunately was not able to hang on to the football. Penalty is an ineligible receiver downfield against the Bulldogs, so either way, not a great situation.
Really difficult because Allen did a great job on that boot fake, faking left to Spear with an exact same play design as it looked like in the beginning to that first handoff to Spear. Takes it the other way and has both of the crossers open. Miller, the short side, of course, throws it to Miller. Miller not able to haul that one in, and that penalty even worse.
They accept the penalty, makes it 2nd and 16. Screenplay now set up to Spear, and all over it were the Trojans. Spear's going to be tackled for another loss of 5 by number 50, Aiden Rodriguez. Carolina Academy was never fooled for a second by that delayed screen.
It's been 3 straight plays and 3 straight plays on top of one another. First was that handoff to Spear. Second, that play-action rollout to the backside. And then they look like they're going to have the play-action rollout for this play again, but they decided to do a throwback screen. And the right-side defensive end, number 72, Jeremiah Wells, the team captain, was all over that one. And also a great job there by Amir Abercrombie getting in on it.
So immediately it sets up a 3rd and 20 for the Bulldogs on their own 20-yard line, not even a minute and a half into the game. And now spending their first timeout will be Carolina Academy. Want to talk things over so that they don't give up an explosive play here in this critical juncture early on.
So it's a 3rd down and 20 flat. So it's going to be very interesting if the Bulldogs decide to just get on the ball, run it, give Bray Spear some momentum going into next drive, and then punt it away with Sam Jennings, or did they decide to go for it? I would say they probably are just going to run and punt because they come into this game as the favorites. Despite being 1-3, they are the favorites over 2-2 Carolina Academy. They've had their number in the past. Carolina Academy, an unproven program. Pendleton has the talent, has the ability to do so. I think that we're probably going to get a run here and then punting it away. Very unfortunate first drive, though. Definitely not what you wanted with those scripted plays right out of the gate. Interested to see if they keep going with the scripted plays on the next drive, because, you usually script out your first 10 of the first half and the second half, see what it's possible for them to do.
3rd and 20 from the 20 for the Bulldogs on the left hash. Allen in empty, takes a snap, he's pressured immediately, steps up, he's going to keep it himself, gets past the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 4 yards. There is a flag in the backfield however, so it's going to be interesting to see if this is on the Bulldogs. If it is, it will be declined by Carolina Academy, and it is. So just a gain of 4 to bring up 4th down and 16 after a holding called against the right guard for Pendleton. That was Eston Gant, the offender on the play. So it brings up a 4th down and 16 and out-traps the punt unit led by punter Sam Jennings.
Smart move by Carolina Academy, declining the penalty because you're already going to get pretty good field position off this. Obviously, Jennings doesn't have the biggest leg, but his kicks tend to more roll over and bounce.
Jennings gets it away, end-over-end kick that bounces at the Carolina Academy 49 and trickles all the way down to the Carolina Academy 35-yard line. So a really nice punt, all things considered, by Sam Jennings, one of his better ones this season. Successfully flips the field, and Carolina Academy will have it on their own 35 at the left hash, moving from our left to right.
And that gives the defense a chance to have some more room to work with than they thought. They thought they were going to have to work with the ball, maybe backed up inside their own territory, but now they're on the opposing 35, so this gives the defense a chance to really shore up. Obviously, they were dealing with some big injuries before the bye week. It'll be really interesting to see how this healthy defense can work together and hopefully put a stop to the offense anchored by quarterback senior Jordan Rice.
Get our first look at the Trojan offense led by Jordan Rice. He takes a snap and tosses it to his right to the running back Caleb Gamble. Right there on the stop are the Bulldogs. I think I saw a flag come in on the play, and there is a flag at the 36-yard line. But a nice job on first down by the Pendleton defense to swarm to the football.
Tried the shotgun toss there, Carolina Academy did. And the weak side linebacker of Pendleton being number 20. That's number 20, Bradley Runyon, the junior linebacker, did a great job of getting over to it quickly, squaring up, chopping his feet, and making initial contact on Gamble to bring him down. And that flag will back up Carolina Academy.
To call holding against Carolina Academy, Coach Howell chooses to accept that penalty and bring up first down and 20. So both offenses finding themselves behind the chains on their opening possession. Carolina Academy now facing a 1st and 20 from their own 25.
And 2 weeks ago, Sam, we had a game that was filled with penalties. Hopefully this game is not the same.
Rice takes a snap, hands it off to Gamble right up the middle for about 2 yards. Great job by the Bulldogs defense, limiting him to just a couple.
On the season, quarterback Jordan Rice, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. A more run and jet sweep, get your athletes in space focused type of offense. So now backed up, it might cause them to go to their weaker side in passing game a little early.
Now in at quarterback, the bigger 5'11", 240, Jalen Patterson. He takes his snap. He's looking to throw. Throws with all his might. It's a high puntish throw, and it's intercepted by Jace Harrison Widner. Widner has the far sideline. He's got a couple men to beat, and he is pushed out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Man, that was a very weird play to watch. Jalen Patterson comes in. His first pass attempt of the game looks like it's a catapult thrown straight up into the air, like a shot put throw. And there, the kick returner and punt returner for the Bulldogs, he probably has harder times fielding punts and kicks than it was to intercept that throw.
No doubt. We've seen the Trojans use Jalen Patterson at quarterback this season. That's his second interception on the year, has a bigger arm than Jordan Rice, so they like to use him there. Like, he's 4 inches shorter and 50 pounds heavier, so the big guy Patterson tried to get something going there with a deep shot, but Harrison Widner right there, and like you said, very easy reception, has shown great speed, very important on special teams, defense, and in the return game. So very, very, obvious that he was going to have a great return there, given his circumstances and his athletic ability.
So just like that, the Bulldogs have first and goal from the Carolina Academy 3-yard line after a very bizarre start that has been filled with penalties and now an early turnover. We've already seen Carolina use 2 quarterbacks, and now the Bulldogs looking to punch it in for their first lead of the game. Under center on the right hash is Allen. Allen takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Bray Spear, and Spear steamrolls his way into the end zone for the Bulldogs touchdown.
Great blocking by the Pendleton offensive line. Spear was in there easily, standing up. Did a great job of following everything and pushing through. Bray Spear gets the Bulldogs going early, exactly what you have to do to win this game if you're Coach Howell and company. Great execution on the second drive. Capitalization off of the turnover and ability to get your bell cow in the end zone for one of only the few times this season so far.
Snap is good, the hold is good, and Brody Sprayberry's point after the touchdown is good. 7-0 lead for the Bulldogs with 8:32 remaining in the first quarter of action. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Sam Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Pendleton High School, where the Bulldogs take advantage of an early turnover by the Trojans. Jace Harrison-Whitner's interception of Jalen Patterson set the Bulldogs up at the 3-yard line, 1st and goal. It took just one play for the Bulldogs to punch it in, thanks to Bray Spear for the early 7-0 lead. What a bizarre start to this game, David.
Bizarre start, but great for Jace Harrison-Whitner. The guy's been doing it all for the Bulldogs this season amidst a tough start. So to see that guy get something and almost get in the end zone really means a lot to the entire team.
Absolutely does. And now Brody Sprayberry on to kick it away for the first time tonight for the Bulldogs. A nice kick is going to be fielded at the 6-yard line by the returner for Carolina Academy, number 2, DJ Brown. He gets it out to the 21-yard line, and that is where Carolina Academy will start their second drive of the game.
Now Carolina Academy on their first drive, they tried to really establish the run, and when they couldn't, they went to the deep shot. They did exactly what Pendleton chose not to do on their first drive. Pendleton got backed up via penalty, a failed run, and they decided just to punt it away, be content with it. Carolina Academy, not content. They got backed up, and what they do, threw a deep shot, bit him in the butt. So now, are they going to learn from that mistake and really establish something on the second drive? That remains the question.
So we've already seen 2 quarterbacks in the game. Jordan Rice, the quarterback for the first 2 plays of the drive, and then Jalen Patterson in for the deep shot, the junior who threw the interception. Rice back in there now. He takes a snap. He has all day to throw. Scrambles out to his left, still looking. Finally gets it away, and it's almost intercepted again off the hands of number 53. That is Fisher Sailors. And a late flag comes in right around the area of the quarterback, Rice.
I'd be curious to see if they called that roughing the passer on Rice late. He got hit as he threw, and multiple Pendleton Bulldogs were coming at him as the ball went off the left hand of Fisher Sailors, who almost had that interception. Very interesting play call there. Not really a lot of reads for Rice to progress through, and he just found himself rolling into no man's land on the left side.
So they actually call intentional grounding against Rice. So that is effectively going to be a sack for the Pendleton defense. And it will be a loss of 6 yards and bring up 2nd down and 16. So a really nice start for this Bulldog defense.
Bulldog defense pushing Carolina Academy back on both drives, having them to operate under extenuating circumstances.
2nd down and 16 now on the quarterback keeper is Rice, and Rice is met by 4 black jerseys at the 13-yard line. A really nice job swarming to the football yet again for the black shirts on defense.
Great tackle there by Jordan Lewis, the junior linebacker, number 26, was all over that read option, wasn't falling for the fake one bit, stayed with Jordan Rice as the second line of defense past the defensive line, stayed away all the way out there, form tackle, brought him into the dirt, 3rd down and way long now.
Another loss of 2 on the play brings up 3rd and 18 now from the right hash. Still in the game at quarterback is Rice. 3 receivers to his right and 1 to his left. Rice takes a snap. He's looking to throw. Has a man deep between the 2 deep safeties, and it's intercepted again. Zy Collymore this time picks it off at the 40. Back to the 35, now to the 30. Reverses field and finally tackled down at the 30-yard line. 2 drives, 2 interceptions for the Bulldog defense.
Collymore all over that one from his strong safety position. Tracked it the whole way. Rice faked the pump to the screen short and then went for the deep ball. And Collymore came from not the receiver that he was covering, but his side closest to our booth. And he absolutely tracked that, ball hawked it right in front of the intended receiver and almost had himself a nice little return there. Great job by the Pendleton defense forcing turnovers on the first 2 drives after backing up the Trojans.
So now Pendleton has the ball in plus territory at the 30-yard line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Allen. Allen takes a snap, fakes the handoff. He'll keep it himself right up the middle, and he has 15 yards on the play before being tackled at the 14 of Carolina Academy. A zone read look right up the middle, and it parted like the Red Sea for the quarterback, Allen. And I think this is as comfortable as he's looked under center so far this season for the Bulldogs since the quarterback, Jackson Allman, was injured early against Keenan.
No doubt. When a defense gives you those kind of opportunities, it really boosts your confidence as a quarterback because you have so much less yardage to work with to get in the end zone, and now you got Spear growing. Wow, the possibilities are endless. 1st and 10 from the 14, a stretch look to the left for Brace Spear, and he is really hard to bring down as the Trojans are coming to find out. They finally stop his forward progress at the 10-yard line, but a nice gain of 4 on 1st down, a really hard-fought and well-earned 4 yards for the Bell Cow running back Brace Spear there on 1st down. Really like the blocking there, especially by Walker Dunlap from the right to the left side, giving Spear a little room to work. Obviously, Spear breaking tackles at the end.
Pendleton gets to the line quickly. They'll go up tempo, and Dax Allen's hard count gets a couple guys on that defensive line to jump offside. That'll be a half the distance to the goal penalty. They'll bring it from 2nd and 6 to now 2nd down and inches for the Bulldogs, looking to add to their 7-0 lead here early with 6:19 remaining in the first quarter.
The Bulldogs really have to like how their offensive line is already in the defensive lineman's head for the Trojans, getting them to jump off sides and pushing them around in the run game.
Allen takes a snap. He'll fake the handoff to the left to Spear and take it himself up the middle. Has enough for the 1st down, but can't quite get into the end zone. He's tackled at the 2-yard line. That sets up 1st and goal for the Bulldogs right on the left hash. Subbing out of the game is Gavin Yeomans, the tight end. Coming in for him, number 13, Landon McMillan. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Bulldogs. Spear in the backfield with the quarterback, Allen. Bulldogs 1st and goal from the 2. Hand off to Spear off the left side. He walks into the end zone untouched. Another touchdown for Brace Spear extends the Bulldogs' lead in the first quarter.
That's 2 for number 9. Exactly what he needed, exactly what the Bulldogs needed out of the bye. Spear, so efficient last season, has been banged up this season. Obviously splitting carries with another captain for today's game, Deshaun Jenkins. Haven't really seen much of him, but that's because Spear has been so reliable. Just getting the big guy into the end zone 2 straight times is going to do wonders for his confidence. And the Bulldogs now have a lead early that they could continue to hand off the rock to Spear.
Absolutely, and the Trojans just have not had an answer for Spear thus far in this game. Really nice job as well by the offensive line up front. They might be taking the touchdown off the board due to an illegal shift, and it looks like they are. Coach Howell not too happy about it. But a couple of penalties are going to back the Bulldogs way back to the 22-yard line. So they're actually going to have 2nd and goal now from the 22. So you can scratch everything that we just said, as a couple of penalties going to cost the Bulldogs, at least for the moment.
Wow, so no touchdown for Spear on the play. Bulldogs go from a sure touchdown situation to all the way backed up on the 22. A lot of penalties there, and this is exactly what we saw 2 weeks ago in that loss to Powdersville. Just so many penalties on both sides, but penalties that really cost the Bulldogs. So they need to take advantage of this and at least get away from a field goal.
Looked like an illegal shift penalty with also an unsportsmanlike conduct put on top of that. So 20 total yards of penalty yardage there. Brings up 2nd and goal from the 22. Empty set for the quarterback, Allen. Takes a snap, has some time, flushes out to the right. Now he reverses field to the left, directing traffic. He's going to keep it himself down the near sideline, and finally he's right out of bounds inside the 20. Made it to the 18-yard line.
Fantastic job by Allen, breaking pressure, scrambling around to get anything out of that play. Had a wide-open Ty Miller in the middle of the field who was uncovered, but the pressure didn't allow him to see it. So the fact that he got anything out of there, because he couldn't have released that immediately, or else it could have been danger zone with all the guys right in there, on top of him, breathing down his neck. So great job by Allen getting nothing out of something. Love the play design there. Maybe you could see that somewhere later on in the game where they give him enough protection to throw to Miller, who was wide open.
Might have been a similar play design to what we saw Miller score the game-tying touchdown a few weeks ago against Woodmont. Now a 3rd and 18 from the 18. Allen looking to throw deep, has a receiver. It is caught for the touchdown by Mellow Mattress. He got behind the defense, and there was quite literally no one within 15 yards of the senior receiver for the score.
Mattress does just a great job of completely deking out the corner. No safety help, no nothing on the fastest receiver on the field. Interesting strategy there by the Trojans. Mattress easy in the back of the end zone, able to haul that in. Good ball from Dax. And now the Bulldogs really go up 2 scores.
So a nice drive for the Bulldogs that started at the Carolina Academy 30-yard line. After some miscues and penalties, they finally punch it in. And before the point after, we have a false start, so the Bulldogs going to make it a little bit more difficult on themselves for this extra point try. Oh, it's actually going to be a neutral zone infraction against Carolina Academy, so it'll move the Bulldogs a bit closer.
And you got to wonder if that gets the gears turning for Coach Howell. We've seen him with a tendency to use his offense and use the fake, use the swinging gait when they get a chance to go for 2. So does this field position moving them up where they only have to get a yard, does this help them out a little bit?
The penalty will be declined by Coach Howell. They will try the point after from the 10-yard line for a 20-yard try. Brody Sprayberry made the first extra point of the game. Snapped the hole. The kick this time is up and good. So a 14-0 lead for the Bulldogs with 5:27 remaining. All 14 points off of turnovers. 5:27 remaining in the first quarter. Your score, Pendleton 14, Carolina Academy 0. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin' Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Pendleton High School, where the Bulldogs are out to an early 14-0 lead midway through the first quarter of action. David, both scores set up by turnovers that the Bulldog defense forced.
The Bulldog defense was able to force Carolina Academy to their 6th and 7th turnover of the season. So a great job by them, really ball hawking. They haven't been able to generate a ton of turnovers, and when they have, it's been on fumbles. But getting the 6th and 7th turnover of the season for Carolina Academy, and I don't know exactly how many that is for the Bulldogs, but the defense really needed those turnovers there, and it's able to give their offense good field position. Offense executes, and now they're kicking away with that special teams unit, which has quietly been very, very consistent throughout the season.
Sprayberry on to kick it away. The Bulldogs leading by 2 scores. This one's fielded by DJ Brown at the 8-yard line. He returns it out across the 20-yard line to the 23. So that's where Carolina Academy's third drive of the game will begin.
DJ Brown returning kicks. Surprised we haven't seen more of him on offense. 6 catches for 113 yards this season. That is far and away number one on the team. His ability to just take the ball and have these big plays once it's in his hand is very special. Haven't really been able to get the time for either Jalen Patterson or Jordan Rice to get it to him, though.
1st and 10 for the Trojans on their third drive of the game, going from our left to right. Rice takes a snap, hands it off up the middle to Gamble, and Gamble met immediately at the line of scrimmage, might have even lost a yard on the play.
Nowhere to go there for Gamble. This Pendleton defensive line currently eating up on the Trojans' offensive stalwarts. Size probably favors the Trojans, too, on the offensive line. Some bigger boys out there. But Fisher Sailors and company really wreaking havoc. Great first step by the bigger guys on the inside. Love what I'm seeing from number 64, Ethan Rexroth, the senior. Lineman goes both ways. Love what I'm seeing there from him on the interior, along with Michael Dixon and Fisher Sailors and company.
Goes down as a run for no gain. 2nd and 10 now. Rice hands it off to Gamble yet again. This time, a little bit of a counter look for the Trojans, and only a couple of yards on the play brings up 3rd down and 8 from the 25.
Gamble, a small and shifty player, but when you've got nowhere to go, you're just dead to rights back there. And they're trying to establish this run, which is part of their offense. They're having no success doing that whatsoever. Pass games had no success. I would say maybe try to get somebody out in open space, maybe a jet, maybe go back to the read option, quarterback blast, something that's going to give a different look to the Bulldogs defense than what they've seen before.
So I beg your pardon, the last 2 runs of the game were actually number 4, backup running back Corday Davis. Now a 3rd down and 8 for the Trojans from their own 25-yard line. High snap corralled, but pressured immediately. The ball comes out of the quarterback's hands. Jordan Rice scooped up by number 3, Branson Wilson, and he brings it back for another Bulldog touchdown.
Bulldogs are up 21 skunk pending this extra point in the first quarter off of 3 turnovers. First 2 in the air, that one on the ground. Sack there, bringing down Jordan Rice, and who's there but Branson Wilson from his defensive back position gets all the way up and there to make that play. Guy was coming all the way from the rover position, able to get up, scoops that ball, thought he was maybe going to go down, but he was able to stay on his feet and bumbles right into the end zone, and the Bulldogs up 3 scores.
Just 8 minutes and 20 seconds into the game, the Bulldogs already up 20-0. Brody Sprayberry now on to try to make it 21-0, and he does. So with 3:40 remaining, Bulldogs 21, Trojans 0. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Sam Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Cunningham Stadium at Pendleton High School, where the Bulldogs are out to a 21-0 lead after 3 turnovers by the Carolina Trojans that have turned into 21 Bulldog points. The last ones coming off of a fumble return for a touchdown by Branson Wilson. This looks like a live ball situation on the kickoff, but the referee will say it is a touchback. It looked for a moment like the kickoff was touched by D.J. Brown and trickled into the end zone, which I think should be a live ball, but they do call touchback, perhaps out of mercy for the Trojans, who are already down 21-0.
I think they called that Brown just missed the ball entirely, and it went into the end zone, so rolled for a touchback. But I thought the same thing, Sam. I thought that was a live ball and went through the hands off the fingers of Brown. But the Bulldogs defense will go out there and hopefully generate another turnover nonetheless.
1st and 10 for the Trojans from their own 20-yard line, and a handoff up the middle from Rice to Gamble on 1st down. Gamble able to pick up 4 on the play before being tackled by Calhoun Mize.
Mize, one of the unsung heroes of this team, very important to everything that they want to do at his linebacker position, especially since Dax Allen has moved over to offense full time. Calhoun Mize, really the senior linebacker leader on the defense, does a great job of breaking down and keeping his team in it right there.
2nd and 6 from the 29. They hand it off again, this time to Bryson McMoore. And McMoore, with a burst of speed, makes a couple guys miss across the 30 before being tackled at the 34-yard line. The 33. By far the best play of the day so far for this Trojan offense.
Yeah, really love to see them get going like that. Interesting to see if they can maintain that pace. Obviously, they were due to have some type of success after the 0 that they were getting, but interesting to see if they can even move this ball across midfield.
First down of the game, now throwing is Rice. He's got a receiver, Jordan Elman-Sanders, getting to the outside, and they're going to stack another 1st down on top of the previous one as Elman-Sanders gets the ball out to the 44-yard line of Carolina for a fresh set of chains and a 1st down. So Carolina potentially finding ways to play to their own strength.
Jordan Elman-Sanders, one of the senior skill position player leaders on this offense, 5'7", 145, very quick if you get him in space like that.
1st down and 10 for the Trojans from their own 44-yard line. Rice takes a snap, hands it off up the middle to McMoore. McMoore looking to bounce it outside to the left. He is tackled down by number 20, Bradley Runyon. A nice job coming down from his linebacker position to make the tackle. Gain of about 3 on the play for McMoore, who's the 3rd running back that the Trojans have handed the ball off to here tonight. Brings up 2nd down and 8 from the 46 as we are approaching a minute and a half remaining in the first quarter of action. Again, the Bulldogs leading 21-0, all 21 points off of 3 Carolina Trojan turnovers. Trojans on this drive, though, have picked up a couple 1st downs and are looking to add to their momentum.
Bulldogs 3-3-5, looking really tough so far.
Rice takes a snap, hands it off to McMoore. McMoore stays on his feet, and then he's leveled at the line of scrimmage by Fisher Sailors. Really nice job staying with the play and delivering the blow to the sophomore running back, Bryson McMoore.
You mentioned it, Sam. Great job by Sailor staying with the play from his weak side defensive end position, and when the player appeared to be going down, Sailors just dropped the hammer and just came over, knocked his head off in a perfectly formed tackle legal type of way to bring up a 3rd down.
Gain of 1 on the play. 3rd and 7 now for Carolina from their own 47-yard line, approaching midfield for the first time tonight.
Their biggest 3rd down of the game.
Jordan Rice drops back to throw. He has a receiver complete, but a nice job coming to the football, making the tackle in space. Jace Harrison-Whitner at the 50-yard line. So just a gain of 3 on the play brings up 4th and 4. And if Carolina wants it to be, that could be the last play of the first quarter.
Curious to see if they let it go down, considering the fact that they're already down 3 scores. They want as many plays as they can, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see another play. I also wouldn't be surprised if they just let it switch field and maybe get some momentum back into their own heads at this point. Harrison-Whitner, he's been dominant on that right side of the field, makes a big tackle there. So will they go for it? That's also another question. Interesting to see as we go into the second quarter.
So we do come to the end of the first quarter. Your Bulldogs lead 21-0 over the Carolina Trojans. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB, Spirit Radio. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun, jungle theme, and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Sam Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Cunningham Stadium. As we get set to start the second quarter of action, the Bulldogs lead 21-0. 3 turnovers setting up the Bulldogs for those 21 points. Interceptions by Jace Harrison-Whitner and Zy Collimore. Then a scoop-and-score touchdown by Branson Wilson. On offense, a 3-yard touchdown run for Brace Spear and an 18-yard touchdown reception for Mellow Mattress. That's how we got here. 4th and 4 for the Trojans. Oh, and Jordan Rice is going to get the defense to jump offside. So really nice job showing poise by the signal caller Rice. An unfortunate lack of discipline for this Pendleton defense, who has allowed Carolina to reach their territory for the first time tonight. 1st and 10, the ball's on the ground, and it is recovered by Calhoun Mize. So immediately another turnover, 4 drives and 4 turnovers for this Carolina Trojan offense.
Just when you think that they're getting their feet, under them, they just get swept over. Rice causes Michael Dixon to jump, moves into midfield moves into opposing territory, past midfield for the first time all game, and then Calhoun Mize, who we just mentioned as being this new leader of the defense, just jumps on that ball after a miscommunication with the handoff to Caleb Gamble, and now Pendleton, as you mentioned, 4th turnover on as many defensive drives. Really impressive here.
So Jace Harrison-Whitner, Zy Collimore, Branson Wilson, and Calhoun Mize all on the other end of a Carolina Academy turnover so far tonight. This time it sets the Bulldogs up at their own 47-yard line. 1st down, it sets up a screen to Landon McMillan on the near side. He breaks into the second level across the 40, down to the 30, and finally shoved out of bounds with an explosive play on 1st down. A nice run after catch for Landon McMillan.
Jordan Rice, also the defense's leading tackler for the Trojans, had a hand on McMillan the entire time, but McMillan just kept dragging him along, and he breaks a tackle there at the end before being pushed out of bounds. Just an angry run there on the pitch and catch for McMillan.
1st and 10 now from the 28, handing off now to Jenkins is Allen, and Jenkins brought down for a loss of 2 on the play by number 22, Norberto Godinez, who also serves as the kicker. Excuse me, that's actually number 72, Jeremiah Wells, one of the captains on the offensive and defensive line, making the tackle for loss stop for the Trojans.
Bulldogs here have a chance to slow everything down and really make the clock their ally. A few more scores before that running clock, so want to get as much of it as they can right now.
2nd and 12 for the Bulldogs from the Trojan 30-yard line. Allen takes a snap, but there is a flag on the play, and it is blown dead.
That'll be a legal motion or false start of some kind. No chance for that play before it even started.
That'll back the Bulldogs up to the Trojan 35-yard line. 2nd and 17 from that spot, going from our left to right. Already enjoying a 21-0 lead as 4 Carolina Academy drives have ended in 4 takeaways for the Bulldog defense, 2 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. Elsewhere in high school football tonight, Seneca with a 6-0 lead over the Daniel Lions in a rivalry contest here in Pickens County. First down play for the Bulldogs here in Cunningham Stadium. Second down play is going to be a handoff to Deshaun Jenkins off the right side. He's going to gain about 4 on the play. Bring up third down and 13.
So the first time we've really seen the Bulldogs be backed up here, besides that opening drive.
3rd and 13 from from the Carolina 31-yard line. Allen takes the snap. He's looking to throw. Has pressure. Steps up. He's going to keep it himself off the left side. Has a blocker out in front. Tries to get to the sideline. Lowers his shoulder. Can't quite get to the marker, but definitely makes it a lot more manageable for the Bulldogs, who will more than likely go for this 4th down and short.
And I think with the way that Brace Spears been playing, you got to go for it, and you got to get some kind of counter action from him going right to his left, up the middle, in between the tackles, and you let your big bell cow boy do his work in a 2-yard situation to get the first down.
4th and 2 from the 20 for the Bulldogs, who get to the line quickly. Hard count, gets the defensive line of the Trojans to jump yet again. The 3rd time we've seen either the Bulldogs or the Trojans jump off sides in a 4th down situation. This time it goes the Bulldogs' way. They'll have a fresh set of chains at the Trojan 15-yard line.
2 defensive linemen there jumped for the Trojans. So very interesting there on how effective that's been on both sides. Definitely some discipline issues both sides need to clean up for the remainder.
1st and 10 from the left hash for the Bulldogs. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Deshaun Jenkins in the formation with Dax Allen. Allen takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Deshaun Jenkins. Jenkins keeps those legs going. He's still going, and he is into the end zone. He dragged a couple of white jerseys about 7 yards from the 7 all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
What a run from Deshaun Jenkins. Had a wide open hole and just took it, just kept those legs going. That's why coaches tell you to chop your feet. That's so important to never give up on a play. And with the strong legs that the little Jenkins has, he was just able to take 3 guys all the way with him from the jump into the end zone, still standing up by the time that he walked in for 6.
Jenkins, the little engine that could on that play. On for the point after, Brody Sprayberry, and it splits the uprights. Everything going right for the Bulldogs here in Cunningham Stadium. 28-0 with 9:51 remaining in the first half. You're listening to Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Cunningham Stadium. Bulldogs leading 28-0. All 28 points off of Carolina Trojan turnovers. 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. Brody Sprayberry's kick is away. It's going to be fielded at the 8-yard line and returned to the 18. A nice job by the kicking unit, the kickoff coverage unit for the Bulldogs, pinning the Trojans inside their own 20-yard line.
Sam, I don't know what kind of secret stuff Coach Howell was giving to the Bulldogs during this bye week. Might have been Michael Jordan's secret stuff akin to Space Jam, but man, these boys look like they are jumping out of the building right now, quick on every snap, quick on the block, obviously very, very well prepared for the offense of Carolina Academy, and on offense of their own, very efficient.
Back in at quarterback for the Trojans on first down is Jalen Patterson. Before the snap, we've got a procedure penalty against the Trojans. A false start will back him up 5 yards. They're going to hand it to Corday Davis on the play.
First time we're seeing Davis, and they're moving side to side now. Corday and Keontae Davis, number 4 and 5, respectively. 2 seniors on this team that we really haven't seen a lot of. Tried to get Corday involved in there, but another procedural penalty backs them up. So they're not even giving themselves a chance to get out of this hole.
First and 15, 9:42 remaining in the first half. We still got a lot of football left to play tonight. Trojans going from our right to left, 2 receivers to each side, and another instance of movement before the snap, and likely another false start against the Trojans is going to back them up even more.
So before anything, it'll be a first down and 20. Not great if you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole that's already 12 feet deep.
So it is indeed a false start. We'll bring up first and 20 from the 8-yard line for these Trojans, who have just, outside of a couple plays and they've strung together 2 first downs on one of those drives, the third drive there before the fumble. Nothing doing tonight for the Trojans, who trail by 4 touchdowns already. Taking the snap is Patterson. Will hand it out to Corday Davis, and Davis swarmed at the line of scrimmage. He'll gain just a couple on the play. Makes it out to the 10 to bring up second and 18.
And the offense doesn't really give Gamble anywhere to go there, which is really unfortunate. And I think that their success getting Michael Dixon to jump off sides on the previous drive before the fumble has kind of given them the idea, it's like, okay, that worked, now we have to try to get them off sides, messing with the snap count, and they've messed with their own offensive line, their own rhythm, and now they're not able to get back on track. 2 false start penalties, procedural, and then now that one just getting absolutely blown up with no blocks.
Second and 18, Patterson drops back to throw. He fires on a slant route to the right side. Ball's incomplete. In coverage there is number 16, Savion Johnson, doing a nice job in man-to-man coverage of number 11, Cameron Reeder, on the play. After the incompletion, a third down and 18 now for the Trojans, still at their own 10-yard line.
Good offense, better defense on that play. Patterson got lit up as he threw, and that ball right into the hands of Belcher, but just falls straight to the ground thanks to great handwork. Love when a DB just rips that away from somebody else.
Third down and 18. Patterson drops back to throw. Sidearm pass. Intercepted again. Jordan Mattress has a convoy, and he is into the end zone for another Bulldog touchdown.
How about both Mattress boys getting into the end zone for the first time this season? The brothers, Jordan and Mello, really showing what it is like to have a nice, soft, and reliable mattress, giving all the cushion that they need to the Pendleton Bulldogs in this first half.
An extremely fun quarter and change for the Bulldogs, who are coming off an extra week of preparation. And looks like they took full advantage of that. Bulldogs firing on all cylinders here tonight.
Really impressed by this defense. Really, really impressed. The ability to just haul every single ball in. The ball control by the defense. You don't really hear that often. Very impressive. Obviously, you hear, cornerback for a reason, doesn't have the hands, defensive lineman, not able to pick that up. They picked everything up with ease and with efficiency.
Sam Jennings had some trouble with the snap, and ultimately Sprayberry was not able to get the extra point up. So just a 34-0 lead for the Bulldogs, but they will certainly take it. 5 drives on offense for the Trojans have ended in an interception for Jace Harrison Whitner that was returned to the 3-yard line. An interception by Zy Collimore returned to the 30-yard line. A scoop and score touchdown for Branson Wilson. A fumble recovery for Calhoun Mize. And now a pick 6 for Jordan Mattress. So 5 turnovers forced by 5 different Bulldogs that have all led to Bulldog scores.
And that extra point miss, while it doesn't really seem like much significance, it might be, because in South Carolina high school football, the mandatory running clock comes into effect at 42 points. So you probably won't see Coach Howell go for 2 after the next score, because you don't want to rub it into the losing opponent. But that means another 2 scores are going to have to take place for the Bulldogs before this game goes into a running clock. But hey, with the turnovers we've seen already, that might be sooner than later.
It definitely could be. And one thing we were talking about in the pregame show, 52 players on the roster for the Bulldogs, and just, what did we say, 40
listed.
Just 40 listed for these Carolina Academy Trojans. But just looking at the 11 guys on the field, there's no way they have more than about 10 to 15 guys on the sideline. So really operating with a roster of about 25 to 30 tonight. And I think that's, while there is a clear advantage on the field for the Bulldogs, I think some of that is added on to by the fact that you've got the same guys running out on the field play after play for the Trojans.
A lack of depth means a lack of, ability to get some rest. So your conditioning really has to be excellent. While I've really noticed no deficiency in the condition of the Trojans, obviously that's wearing on you as things go about.
Sprayberry's kickoff going to land at the 8-yard line, and Belcher is just going to let it go into the end zone for a touchback. So Carolina, once again with the ball at its own 20-yard line with 8:48 to go in the first half. We'll see if they can move the ball without turning it over.
Is that on all 5 drives they've turned the ball over?
Yep.
Wow.
All 5 drives have ended in a turnover.
You do not see that in high school football, on any level of football, very often.
Jalen Patterson, the junior, the bigger quarterback of the two, 5'11", 240, back in at quarterback. He takes a snap, looks to throw quickly, has a receiver on a screen. Timothy Fowler gets to the outside. And a nice play for the Trojans. He'll gain about 6 on the play before being tackled by number 33. That is Jamarian Morrison on the stop.
And another guy in there, of course, the guy who owns the right side right now, number 8, Jace Harrison Whitner, was dealing with a blocker there as that screen went to his side, was able to shed that late and be in there on that tackle. So great job by the Bulldogs shedding blockers, doing what they have to do to clutter up the space that the Trojans are trying to get the ball into and make it tackles.
8 minutes remaining in the first half. We have a flag now in the Pendleton secondary while Carolina was still huddled. You have to wonder if it's something that the Bulldogs may have said. It is unsportsmanlike conduct against the Bulldogs. This is a really weird situation because the Trojan offense was huddled about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and the back judge comes in from behind the play, looks at a Pendleton defender, and throws the flag at his feet.
I think maybe the only situation that I could guess is just some loud talking there from the Bulldogs defenders. Obviously you're hyped up. You scored 5 turnovers on 5 turnovers on 5 drives. Every single drive you've got a turnover. You're feeling yourself a little bit. You're feeling the swag, and sometimes when you're feeling that, you tend to get a little, overstimulated. Maybe let a couple words fly that you probably shouldn't.
So that'll bring the ball to the Carolina 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Trojans now. Orbit motion. Trouble with a snap, and sacked immediately is the quarterback, Jalen Patterson. We have a flag at the end of the play. A couple of Bulldogs combined on the sack there. Another flag flew. There's one on the far sideline. There's also one near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think the man in the motion might have gotten off a little bit too early there and jumped before this ball was snapped as he was going from right side to left side, and that really just threw off Patterson, who just had the fall on after being sacked by number 33, Jamarian Morrison and company for the Bulldogs.
The officials talking about it at the 35-yard line. Going to call illegal motion against Carolina, and then a personal foul against Pendleton. So the personal foul will supersede the illegal motion in this case. And they will move Carolina up another 10 yards to the 50-yard line. They're looking to cross the 50 for just the second time tonight. Before the first down play, Pendleton going to use a timeout, likely for the defensive staff, just to get through to their players. Hey, we got to stop it with these personal fouls, these unsportsmanlike conducts. They can't move the ball on you if you just play straight-up football. Don't add any of these antics to the situation. A lack of discipline a little bit for the Bulldogs on this drive has allowed the Trojans to move at 30 yards.
And I think the old coaching adage of the score 0-0 really comes into play here. Normally you hear that at halftime when you're up big or even when you're down big. But now being up big in this second quarter, you have to be, hey guys, we're still playing football here. You're up. You're most likely going to win this game, but every snap matters. Take this into next week, when we go to Travelers Rest. Take this into the rest of the season. Every rep matters. Every rep gets you better, gets you more prepared, gets you more skilled, gets you more experience to take with you for the rest of the season and become a better football player. So don't let your heads get too big for your britches.
After the timeout, a 1st and 10 for the Trojans from the 50-yard line, going from our right to left. Trojans trailing by 34 to nothing after their first 5 possessions ended in takeaways for the Bulldog defense. Crowding the line of the Bulldogs, sending 5 players to the line of scrimmage, and a big play for the Trojans as finding the receiver, Jordan Elman-Sanders, over the middle was the quarterback, Jalen Patterson. He had to pretty much catch the snap and get rid of it immediately over the middle, and then doing the rest was Jordan Elman-Sanders all the way to the 26-yard line, a 24-yard gain, and then a flag comes in at the end of the play. I think it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Jordan Elman-Sanders.
Wow.
That is indeed going to be the case.
Another unsportsmanlike conduct, but this time against the Trojans. So that big play kind of just gets wiped out, and you can't be doing that when you're down this many points. Both teams need to keep their heads on their shoulders.
So a big play that went for 24 yards is only going to net Carolina 9 yards thanks to the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after the play. So both teams kind of giving and taking penalty yardage throughout so far. Still 7.5 minutes to go in this first half. Like David was mentioning, 42 is the deficit necessary for a running clock. Taking the snap and throwing immediately is the quarterback, Patterson, and it goes over the head of the intended receiver, Jarrett Banks, to bring up second down.
No real sync there between Patterson and Banks. And now with the Trojans in Pendleton territory for only the second time all game, they have an opportunity here to do something. Obviously, that unsportsmanlike penalty really moves them back, really hits them hard, but they really have an opportunity to at least get a field goal, in the field goal range if they can get to about the 20.
Patterson favoring his left ankle. He's taken a couple beatings on the last few plays. He takes the snap this time and hands it off to the left to one of his running backs who was absolutely crushed right at the line of scrimmage. Did you see who was the first Bulldog there?
Yeah, that was Bradley Runyon, the linebacker. He's been all over it tonight. Very quick to crash down on those type of plays when he's left unblocked and they can't get to him on the second level. Very impressed with how he's been able to set the edge for the Bulldogs all night.
That was Bryson McMoore on the carry, who was leveled by Runyon, who's made a couple nice plays, as David mentioned.
That's about 4 different ball carriers that the Trojans have used tonight, considering their lack of depth with the 25 to 30 guys that we see. A lot of different ball carriers being used, more than you would expect.
Third down and 10 from the 43-yard line for the Trojans. Looking to air it out deep as Patterson has the arm for it, but it's underthrown and an interception is dropped at the 3-yard line. Zy Collymore had his hands on another one, a ball that was in the air for a really long time. Collymore maybe looked away from the football before hauling it in. Falls harmlessly to the ground, incomplete, bringing up a 4th and 10 for this Trojan offense.
Really close to being the 6th turnover on 6 drives there through the hands of the DB and almost popped up and went into the hands of the safety.
Yeah.
So, nightmare scenario avoided for the Trojans, but I think this entire game has been a case of Freaky Friday.
And all of this has happened in a little less than 17 and a half minutes of game action. Absolutely unbelievable so far. 4th and 10 for the Trojans. Patterson drops back to pass, fires a high pass into the Pendleton sky, and batting it away is Jace Harrison Widner. So a turnover on downs forced this time by the Pendleton Bulldog defense. They've been super stingy tonight.
Bet you coaches are giving the defense a hard time for their first non-real turnover of the game there. And by that, I mean absolutely not. What a job by this defense has done being all over the ball, tracking it more so than even the Trojan receivers. With 6 minutes, 27 seconds left, now the offense has an opportunity to put one more on the board. And hopefully coming out of halftime, you'll have that running clock and be able to take a huge win, 40-plus points. 40-plus point win shutout, hopefully, into the game against Travelers Rest. Obviously, that game is going to be really important for the Bulldogs. Could put them back at 500. They have a favorable schedule out of the gate right after this bye. We talked about that 2 weeks ago, and it really looks like this bye has done wonders.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs now. The offense has the ball for the first time in a while, and rolling out to his right and completing the pass to Sam Jennings is Dax Allen. And Allen continues to look more and more comfortable as the emergency quarterback for these Pendleton Bulldogs. It's a gain of 8 yards to the 49-yard line of Pendleton. Brings up a 2nd down and 2.
And once the emergency quarterback, I think Dax Allen has really stepped up and made himself just a quarterback, right? A quarterback who's really running the offense, able to be efficient, good leader, effective communicator, and getting his guys the ball who need the ball.
2nd and 2, and Allen hands it off to Brace Spear. A nice play design with Mellow Mattress coming in motion right to left to get the eyes of the defense out of whack. Then Brace Spear gains a yard on the play. So a nice job all in all by the Trojan defense to stuff Spear on the play, but another opportunity for the Bulldogs here now. 3rd and 1 from the 50. Under center is Allen. He takes the snap. He'll hand it off to Spear again. Spear gets downhill and has enough for the 1st down.
That's the first time we're really seeing Spear get involved since that 2nd drive of the game because the defense has just been so good at doing everything else. So kind of affects the offense in a little bit where they haven't had a lot of time with the ball, been sitting on the sideline, maybe getting a little cold. And I think that's been Spear's kryptonite this season, being used, maybe very, very consistently on one drive, and then later in the game, he kind of just disappears, and now he's back. So I think, keeping him in consistent rhythm when they have the ball is going to be really important.
Bulldogs taking their time, and trouble with the snap for Allen, but they're going to blow the play dead. A pre-snap penalty, offsides, or a neutral zone infraction against the Trojans. Going to give the Bulldogs 5 yards. Mark it down at the Trojan 43-yard line to bring up 1st and 5. Bulldogs are content to go pretty slow and let this clock churn down. It's under 5 minutes in the first half. Allen takes the snap now. He'll fire it quickly to land to McMillan on the outside. McMillan follows a nice block, makes the guy miss across the 30 before being tackled at the 29-yard line by number 9, the quarterback, Jordan Rice, playing a little linebacker for the defense now.
And that's the 2nd time that they've run that exact play, that little quick screen to McMillan on the right side, and both times he's taken it 10-plus yards.
Getting to the line quickly are the Bulldogs, and over the head of Allen goes the snap. Brace Spear, Johnny on the spot to fall on the football at the 41-yard line. So a loss of 12 on the play as the snap from Mason Wilson goes over the head of Dax Allen. And disaster avoided for the Bulldogs for the moment, as instead of a fumble recovered by the Trojans. It is recovered by Spear for a 12-yard loss.
So that's the first time ball security didn't go Pendleton's way tonight.
2nd and 22 now from the right hash. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ty Miller, the tight end, in the formation as well. Spear drops back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, tucks the football, is going to run it himself. Across the 40 to the 35-yard line. A flag does come down in the Pendleton backfield in the area of what might be a hold.
A lot going on there on that play. I think it's a penalty against the Bulldogs coming back, but Allen really running that around there back there like somebody was chasing him and didn't really have any much to go there.
So it is holding against the Bulldogs. That'll back them up another 10 yards, now to their own 49-yard line. That will bring up 3rd down and 32 yards to go.
Penalties have been a struggle for the Bulldogs, but that's kind of been, thrown under the rug since how many penalties the Trojans have had tonight. So both teams have to make sure that they're getting that settled.
2nd and 32 for the Bulldogs from their own 49 on the right hash. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Allen. Allen fakes the handoff. He'll keep it himself off the left side. Now going right up the middle across the 45, across the 40, down to the 39-yard line back in Carolina territory.
Big gain there. Dax Allen showing off the type of athlete he is, linebacker speed, guy who's got to be used to getting out there in open space, covering a lot of field, able to do that with his legs there and the ball in his hands. Makes it a 3rd and kind of manageable. Would you say a 3rd down and 10 after that big situation where you're blocked all the way back? A big run by Allen maybe gives this drive for the Bulldogs a little bit of life. Obviously, they want to get another one before half.
Yeah, still a long way to go. Even with the gain of 12, still 3rd down and 20 for the Bulldogs here from the Carolina 39-yard line. The line of gain is the 19. 3 receivers to the right. Brace Spear in the backfield with Allen. And a delay of game called against the Bulldogs, who are a little slow getting the play into Dax Allen. So makes a 3rd and long, even longer now, 3rd and 25 from the Carolina 44. Once again, line to gain is the Carolina 19-yard line. Allen takes the snap, drops back, looks to throw down the seam, has a man, it is caught! Sam Jennings with a sliding grab, and he has enough for the 1st down at the 18-yard line.
What a conversion. Jennings caught in between 2 Trojan defenders, able to get a perfect ball from Dax Allen to strike right down the middle on Jennings, who was streaking up the right hash. And what a conversion from 3rd and 30-plus to 1st down inside the 20. This Bulldogs offense is on fire.
2:19 to go in the 1st half. Dax Allen really getting in a rhythm now. Allen throws now again. Jailbreak screen to Mellow Mattress. Mattress letting his blocks develop, but a nice job by the two-way player Jordan Rice, quarterback and linebacker, making the stop inside the 15-yard line at the 12. So inside 2 minutes to play in the 1st half. Bulldogs have it at the 12. 2nd and about 4 yards. Allen takes a snap again, this time handing it off to Spear. A couple jump cuts in the backfield, but he's going to be brought down for a loss. Quickly brings up 3rd down and manageable for the Bulldogs with less than 90 seconds to go in the 1st half.
Bulldogs have under 1:20 to get in the end zone.
3rd and 4 from the 12. Allen taking his time, letting that clock churn down to 104, 103, still counting. Allen takes the snap, fires to the left side to Jennings on a screen. Jennings stiff arms one would-be tackler, stays on his feet, gets the 1st down. The line to gain was the 8. He gets down to the 7-yard line to move the sticks. 54 seconds to play in the 1st half.
And now everything's free money for the Bulldogs, but you have to make sure that you get these plays off in a time-efficient manner, both taking time on the clock and scoring.
Allen will hand it off to Spear again. Spear reversing course, turns his legs, and finds the end zone for the second time tonight. Spear, who we will hear from at halftime on the Senior Spotlight interview series, finds pay dirt for the second time tonight to extend the Bulldog lead to 40-0.
Spear gets that touchdown back that he lost due to penalty in the first quarter and has his second of the game. Great to see Spear going, number 9. Really the heartbeat of this Pendleton Bulldog offense when going well with all these other guys out, guys graduating last year, guys transferring. Spear has been there through and through, and great to see him get another trip to the end zone. Little celebration. Cunningham.
Extra point is up and good by Sprayberry. The Bulldogs 41, the Trojans 0 with 38 seconds remaining in the first half. And we'll keep it right here before the kickoff and the final 38 seconds of the first half. David, you couldn't script a better first half for these Bulldogs.
No doubt. We've been talking as we go over the high school football scores around the country, around the state specifically. We'll go around the country a little later tonight, but for now we go around the high school football scores. And I believe 2 weeks ago it was like Seneca was up 50-something on Wahala at half. This is what that feels right. And the Bulldogs have really shown absolute dominance over the Carolina Academy, who's having their best season in 4 years. Very special. To go around some of the biggest games around of the state, Greer currently playing Travelers Rest, where Pendleton will go to next week. Carolina Academy hosting Palmetto. Palmetto 0-5. They have their bye week this week. And the big game in the upstate, Seneca against number 20, Daniel. Seneca up 9-0 on Daniel in the second quarter. So a big-time win for the Bobcats if they're able to finish it out. We'll be talking more high school football out of the break.
Would be the first time since 2017 that the Bobcats of Seneca take down the Daniel Lions. It's really been a one-sided rivalry for much of the last 20 years, ever since the Tom Bass era came to an end for the Bobcats. But Gavin Toma, the signal caller, and David Crane looking to restore Seneca back to the glory days tonight. They're on the road at Daniel with the lead. Kickoff this time for the Trojans going to be returned by Kylie Belcher. Kylie Belcher. He's going to get it across the 30 to the 35-yard line. One of the better plays of the night for this Trojan team, who's trailing 41-0 before halftime.
Kylie Belcher showing off his blazing speed. Haven't really seen a lot of him, but he's a senior. He's one of the leading receivers on this team. He's a good yards per catch type of guy, but unfortunately the Trojans haven't caught many balls for him to be featured tonight.
So 1st and 10 for the Trojans. 3 timeouts to work with, just 32.5 seconds remaining in the first half. Still in at quarterback is Jalen Patterson, the junior 240-pounder.
We haven't seen much of Jordan Rice in a minute.
Patterson takes a snap, has a receiver over the middle, but it falls incomplete off of the hands of Jordan Elman-Sanders. Jordan Elman-Sanders, if he's able to bring that one in, he might be taking it to the house.
One of the few times where a Trojan receiver was able to get past the second level of Pendleton's defense. That ball just a little bit miscommunicated, maybe leading the receiver a little bit too much.
Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 39 for the Trojans with 27.7 seconds remaining. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for the Trojans. Patterson takes the snap in empty. Bulldogs showing pressure. Patterson gets rid of it, but it's over the head of the intended receiver, Kylie Belcher. We have another flag on the play.
Flag thrown by the Trojan coaching staff sideline. That's near head coach Chris Glover.
It's going to be an illegal procedure penalty. I believe that Kylie Belcher was lined up over the line of scrimmage. So that's going to back the Trojans up 5 yards. 25 seconds to go in the first half with the Bulldogs leading 41-0. This Bulldogs defense has forced 5 turnovers and a turnover on downs in 6 drives. Is that good?
I don't know. I've never watched football before.
Bulldogs are eating on both sides of the football so far tonight, looking to continue that here. Patterson takes a snap, fires it complete over the middle to his receiver, who is wrestled down by, I believe, Zy Collimore. It was Collimore on the tackle. Kylie Belcher on the catch. It's good for a first down for the Trojans at the 45-yard line, and the Trojans would spend one of their timeouts. They have 17.3 seconds remaining to try to put some points on the scoreboard for the first time tonight.
Gives them a chance for a couple deep shots. We've seen them like to use Patterson's arm. Think that they are more comfortable with him than Rice, as we haven't seen Rice in a minute. It didn't seem like he was injured in that way. We've seen both quarterbacks used. Obviously, Patterson, the junior, 5'11", 240, and Jordan Rice, the senior, 6'3", 190. Patterson more of an arm on him, has taken a lot of big hits tonight. As Sam mentioned, he was favoring that right leg a little bit when he was walking up a couple plays ago. Both play quarterback and linebacker. Rice came into this game as the Trojans' leading tackler, so he will still be in the game on defense, but on offense it might be Jalen Patterson's show to see what he can prove for next year. So his arm is going to be slinging it all over the middle of the field as we go on.
Trojans finishing their huddle on the far sideline, getting instructions from head coach Chris Glover.
A long first half here, 8:46, as this game kicked off at 7:30. Looks like the second half will be a very quick one.
1st and 10 from their own 45 for the Trojans. 17 seconds to go. Patterson takes a snap, fires quickly to the sideline, complete to Timothy Fowler at the 49. He gets out of bounds with 15 seconds remaining, and another timeout now called by the Trojans.
Yeah, it gives them a chance to work things over. They're approaching the 50. They're right on it, actually, or a yard short. Maybe another quick pitch and catch, and then just a heave to the end zone. That's probably what they're thinking. They've wanted to do that in the past. It just could be an opportunity to get something going for the second half.
So if you're the Bulldogs, obviously you have a major talent advantage here against a team like Carolina Academy. We've seen that on full display here tonight with a 41-0 advantage before halftime. Still, how do the Bulldogs carry this momentum into next week when you'll likely be facing a team that is closer to your caliber but will still be likely a little bit outmatched against the Bulldogs?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think just staying really consistent to what you want to do as a program, not getting too high or too low. Obviously, football will try to do that to you, but staying with what you want to do, staying with the team, your values, your programs, the ideas, the mantras that you establish before the season, that makes sure that you stay level-headed throughout the course. And, yeah, this will probably be a little bit of a momentum boost as you go forward, but has to make sure that it's staying consistent to who you are as a team.
Absolutely. 14.9 seconds remaining in the first half. Trojans with the ball at the 49-yard line. Rolling out to the right now is the quarterback, Patterson. He's going to keep it himself. Steamroll a couple Pendleton defenders with his 240-pound frame before picking up the first down. They'll stop the clock with 3.5 seconds. And the Trojans will spend their final timeout of the half with 3.5 seconds remaining at the Pendleton 45-yard line. So likely dialing up their best Hail Mary look. Patterson definitely has the arm to get it there if he has time to get it off.
Bulldogs defense has been very good at defending those big-time shot plays. Obviously, 3 interceptions on those deep balls. That first one thrown by Patterson on the opening drive was a lollipop up there, caught like a punt return from Jace Harrison Whitner. So the Bulldogs are going to know to move all of their guys back and expect a rainbow shot, maybe haul it down, or just swat it away at this point. Because obviously you don't want to run into any scenario where you try to pick it off, try to return it, put some insult to injury before you even get to halftime, and just get in a little bit of a situation that you don't want there with maybe losing the football or angering the opposing sideline. Got to make sure that you're just handling it how you should, keep that ball to the ground as you're moving all your guys back.
So 1st and 10 from the 45 of Pendleton for the Trojans. Prevent defense for the Bulldogs, who only have 2 guys at the line of scrimmage, followed by a 3-3-3 look behind it. Dropping back to pass is Patterson. All day to throw. He'll throw it underneath to number 6, Cahaly Belcher, and Belcher will be forced to slide down at the 28-yard line, and that will be the end of the first half. Pendleton's defense pitches a shutout in the first half. 7 offensive drives for the Trojans. 5 end in turnovers. 1 ends in a turnover on downs, and the final one comes to the end of the first half. To quickly recap as we transition into our Rogers Petroleum Incorporated halftime show. After a 3-and-out for the Bulldogs on their opening possession, Jace Harrison Whitner's interception of quarterback Jalen Patterson set the Bulldogs up at the Carolina 3-yard line, and it took Bray Spear just 1 play to find the end zone for the touchdown and a 7-0 lead. Then just a few plays later, Zy Collimore, with an interception of the other quarterback, Jordan Rice, set up a Mellow Mattress 18-yard touchdown reception to make it 14-0 with 7:22 remaining in the first quarter. Then on the next possession for the Trojans, Branson Wilson recovered a fumble and took it to the house to extend the lead to 21-0. That was with 5:21 remaining in the first quarter. The Trojans got the ball back, and another fumble, this time recovered by Calhoun Mize, set the Bulldogs up at their own 47-yard line before they moved it 53 yards, capped by a Deshaun Jenkins 15-yard touchdown run in which he dragged several Carolina Trojan defenders about 7 yards, the final 7 yards, before reaching the end zone to make it 28-0. Then on the next series for the Trojans, Jordan Mattress, Mello's brother, who had the touchdown earlier, had a pick six to make it 34-0. That came with 9:44 remaining in the first half. The next drive for the Trojans ended in a turnover on downs, and then Bray Spear found the end zone for his second time tonight, this time from 7 yards out to make it 41-0. Final drive of the first half was the one we just heard about that ended in Pendleton territory at the 29-yard line. So that is how we got here at halftime. The Bulldogs leading 41-0. And now it is time to hear from our senior spotlight interviews. This week we are hearing first from Ty Miller, the tight end, number 10, and then from the bell cow running back, number 9, Bray Spear. So it is time for our senior spotlight interview series here at halftime in the Rogers Petroleum Incorporated halftime show.
Sam Goodrow back with you, visiting with Ty Miller today, senior tight end for your Pendleton Bulldogs football program. Ty, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Continuing along in our senior spotlight series. Ty, just to start off, how long have you been playing football?
I've been playing football since 8, I guess. I think that's when we could start. Yeah, been around it a long time.
So obviously you've grown up around the game your whole life. How would you say that it's just been a part of you as a person, and just how have you grown throughout your life as a football player?
Yeah, it's just always been there for me. I remember when I was little, my dad used to set up a dummy downstairs in our basement, and I would run across and hit it. You know, just watching Clemson games on Saturdays, just having a good time.
Absolutely, man. And then growing up, did you play any other sports? And if you did, just tell me about that experience.
Yeah, I played baseball. I've played it since I was 3 or 4, since I could remember. It's always been personally my favorite, but I love football too, both of them. It depends on type of season, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then specifically moving into high school, what's it been like just to grow within Pendleton's football program?
It's been great. I remember my freshman year, I had a ankle surgery going on, and it was just boring the whole time. Sitting on the sideline watching all my friends be able to do everything. I just had to sit over there. And then once I got back into it, it's always been great. Like at practices and during games, it's just a whole different thing when you have all your buddies beside you being able to do what you love.
Yeah, so what was it like coming off that ankle surgery just to be able to come back to the field for the first time?
It was definitely a little unexpected when it happened, but it was not fun whatsoever. I remember the physical therapy part of it took forever, and I was just remembering like, gosh, I wish this would hurry up. I'm ready to get back out there.
Yeah, and then once you were able to get back out there, how did that feel?
I felt great. I remember it was a little slow getting back into everything, but once I got going, I pretty much didn't stop, hit the ground running. Tried to anyway.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you're tight with a lot of your teammates, but you mentioned just being out there on the field with all your buddies. Who are some of your closer friends on the team this year?
Braden Spears, one of my close ones, Calhoun Mize, Gaines Buchanan, a bunch of offensive guys I've gotten close with the last 2 years. A few defensive guys like Branson Wilson and Noah Bagwell, Fisher Sailors, and Michael Dixon.
Yeah, that's great, man. Y'all have been a very fun group to watch. And then moving into this year, you've kind of seen yourself have an elevated role. What's that been like just to be able to be out there for a lot of the snaps on offense?
Yeah, it's been great. Coming into high school, they didn't really have much of a tight end. It was with what they were dealing with, like my freshman and sophomore year, they had to throw the ball a lot more. And now me and like a couple others like Gavin Yeomans and George Kent being able to be out there and play tight end for them, I think helps with the run game.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And you had a really big moment early this season in the Woodmont game, had a touchdown over the middle that ended up tying the game and sending it to overtime. Just what kind of was going through your head during that play, and was that something that you had envisioned doing all week or all year, or just what kind of led into that moment? Because it was a really big moment.
Yeah, Dax Allen, the quarterback, we've always grown up together and kind of had like a tight bond. But I remember we were just trying to get the ball down the field and try to score because we knew we needed to score to get into overtime. And I remember running that route, and he threw it up, and I was like, all I got to do is catch it and get out of bounds. And I caught it, and I started to get out of bounds when he hit me. I was like, screw it, I'm just going to run him over and get in the end zone.
Yeah, and you did just that. Just what were kind of the emotions going through your head when you were able to get into the end zone and tie the game in such a big moment for your team?
I remember scoring it, went a little blank. Ran up to Walker Dunlap, was also a good friend of mine, and he just kind of picked me up, and we were all just kind of laughing. And then I was like, oh, my God, PAT, I got to worry about it. So I'm running over there to get on PAT.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That was probably my favorite moment so far of this season, just to see you guys execute that 2-minute drill and tie the game. And even though it didn't end up with the result that we were looking for, that was definitely a really fun moment. Continuing to visit with Ty Miller here on our Senior Spotlight series. Ty, I was curious. I've talked to some other guys about their game day routines and what they do to get locked in on a Friday afternoon and evening. What does that process look like for you?
I'm more of an AirPods in guy. Like after we go through walkthroughs in the gym, I'm AirPods in, sitting over there on my phone, just kind of listening to music, looking out on the field, just waiting for the game to come up. But I'm a big like not 80s and 90s rock guy.
That's awesome. That's a little different from what some of the other guys were saying. They were saying a lot of rap, some country. What are some of the artists that you like to listen to?
Like Led Zeppelin, Kid Rock. I like their mindset of like their songs, I guess. Like it gets me pumped up. Like I find this kind of funny, but like I try to find like I'm like real big into war movies, so I like finding war songs, and it just gets me pumped up for the games.
That's awesome, man. And then off the field, what do you like to do outside of football? What do you spend your free time doing the most?
Probably hunting. I'm a big hunter. I love to bow hunt and duck hunt and dove hunt. We have 2 dogs, so that just makes it even better. Like coming home to them, they're all excited when I walk in the door. And then me and my dad fishes a lot, which I go with him sometimes, but I'm not as big of a fisherman, but I like fishing too.
What are some of your favorite things to go hunt?
Deer for sure is one of my favorite. Being on a bow hunt is awesome to me. And then duck hunting is up there. Like going with my buddies is really fun. And dove hunting, because we actually just recently, the past couple of years, got a dove dog, so it's pretty good to have her out there with us.
That's awesome. And then just a couple more. Going back to the football field, we already talked about that big moment you had on the touchdown against Woodmont to tie the game. Are there any other moments throughout your football career that just stand out in your mind as things that you'll cherish forever?
God, I need to think back on that one. Yeah, like as much work as we put in practice, and like we get real competitive in practice, which I think helps us on the field a lot. And it just brings us together. Like the more competitive we are during practice, I think the better it brings us together during a game.
That's awesome, man. And then last one, how do you want to be just remembered as you move on from this chapter of your life?
I'd want to be remembered as the one who always went out there and gave it their best. And if you told him to go through a brick wall, he'd die trying going through that brick wall.
That is an awesome mindset. And that's going to wrap us up with Ty Miller on our Senior Spotlight interview series. Ty, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sam Goodrow back with you here in our Senior Spotlight interview series. This time we are with senior running back number 9, Bray Spear. Bray, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good to talk to you tonight. Bray, as we get started, I was just wondering, how long have you been playing football?
Football, I've been playing football since about 8 and under, so I'd say about 13 years.
So have you lived in the Pendleton area your whole life?
Yeah, I have.
So what's that been like, just kind of growing up in the same community and now just getting to put on the black and gold every week?
Like when I was in rec, I used to watch like my brother and all them playing high school, and I just felt like how it's really cool. It's a real good atmosphere and everything.
Yeah, for sure. And then what's your experience been like just being in the program since 9th grade, going through JV, and then last year getting a lot of opportunities at the varsity level, just becoming the lead back? What's that just whole process been like?
It's been good, but my freshman year I tore my ACL, so I couldn't really play. And then my sophomore year, I just came back strong, and then they trusted me to start and lead them my junior year.
So going back to your freshman year, obviously tearing your ACL, that's a pretty big injury. What did the rehab process for you look like at that point?
Rehab, I was going to a place in Clemson every week, and I had a very fast comeback. I came back in 5 months.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. And just what were some of the lessons that you learned either about yourself or about life in general, while you were going through that?
I learned that everything is God's timing, and you can't control what happens, so just make the best of everything.
Absolutely. And you've definitely made the most of your opportunities after that, and obviously made a full recovery, and we've just loved watching you on the field the past 2 seasons. Just getting into a little bit more into the details, how do you get locked in on a Friday afternoon or evening before a game?
So first, start off obviously school and stuff, and then after school, I usually listen to common music, music like P&D and rapper named Rack Baby, and then I'm usually just laid back, chilling just by myself usually.
That's awesome, man. What are some of the things you like to do off the football field?
Off the football field, I like hanging out with my friends a lot. We'll go to movies. We'll just go out to the beach and stuff like that.
Are you a big sports fan at all?
Yeah, my favorite college team is Florida State. We're having a good season so far.
Yeah, what do you think about how Tommy Castellanos has been so far?
He's been incredible. Like, we needed to get DJ going.
So you were a fan last year when they went 2-10 as well?
Yeah.
So what was that like watching Florida State taking down Alabama? Were you expecting that, or did it take you by surprise? What were your thoughts on that game?
To be honest, I really thought we had them. Like, when we went into the game, I was like, yeah, we got this.
So how long have you been a Florida State fan?
Really all my life. My dad was the Florida State fan. I basically just took after him.
That's awesome, man. What's it been like just kind of growing up as a Florida State fan in an area that's pretty much all Clemson or South Carolina?
It's a lot of hate. Like, everybody, like, a bunch of people at my school, like, they hate on Florida State so bad. But now that they're, like, Clemson isn't that good this year, they're like, they haven't really said much.
Yeah, so I'm sure you heard a fair share from them last year when Florida State was struggling. What was that like?
Yeah, it was terrible. I didn't even want to talk about sports, college football.
Do you like any pro sports?
Pro sports. Well, I really don't have a favorite team, but like, one of my favorite players is D-Hop and Derrick Henry, so I like the Ravens right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're definitely a super exciting team to watch. Just as you reflect on your journey within the program, who are some of the guys that you've been closest to on the team?
Right now, so we're like locker buddies because like our lockers is by number, and like so far this season I really got close with my teammate. He's number 11. His name is Cahaly, and Todd Miller, number 10.
That's awesome, man. What has been your favorite part of this season so far? I know you guys have had some up and downs, but some really exciting moments too. What's your favorite thing so far about this season?
My favorite memory right now this season is probably the Keenan game. It was like a really big game. We're coming off a loss, and we had lost a couple players.
Yeah, that was definitely an exciting one. Then looking ahead to this week's game against Carolina Academy, what's kind of the mentality been for you guys? Obviously, coming off of a bye week, you've had a couple weeks to prepare. What's the general psyche and the mentality of the team been?
The mentality, we're going in this game not backing down. Like, they're not as good as everybody, but we're going to treat them like everybody else.
Absolutely. And then another question about that. Obviously, Jackson, your quarterback going down, Jackson Allman a couple weeks ago, he had to have Dax Allen step in at quarterback. What's that been like to see a guy coming over from the defensive side of the ball to play quarterback?
It's been like a real good experience, honestly, because like he was our quarterback in 8th grade, and like him getting back into it, trying to get back into it, he's been doing pretty good in practice lately, and I feel like he's going to be good until Jackson comes back.
Absolutely, and it's hard to look back at this season so far without thinking about that Woodmont game and the 2-minute drill that the offense executed to tie that game with the touchdown over the middle to Ty Miller. What was kind of your perspective throughout that drive and on that play specifically?
My perspective, I just wanted to like move downfield, never stop my feet when I get the ball, and then once I seen Dax throw the ball up the Ty, like everything, like I just was so happy.
And that was an awesome moment for sure. Continuing to visit with senior running back Bray Spears. Bray, what are some of your goals for the rest of this season as you put a bow on your legacy as a Bulldog?
I'm hoping we go through this season, we win the rest of the games going down, and try to make it as far as possible in the playoffs, because I feel like we have a really good squad and we could do this.
Absolutely. Well, we are so excited to continue to watch you guys each and every Friday night. That's going to wrap us up with Bray Spear on our Senior Spotlight interview series. And on the other side, we will have coverage of the third quarter between Pendleton and Carolina Academy.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold. not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they're recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun, jungle theme, and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Sam Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Pendleton High School's Cunningham Stadium, where the Pendleton Bulldogs jolted out to a 41-0 lead at halftime. We're getting ready to start the third quarter of action between the Bulldogs and the Carolina Academy Trojans. All Bulldogs in the first half, as the score would indicate, but the defense especially did a particularly good job both setting up the offense for success as well as scoring points itself. 7 drives on defense for the Bulldogs in the first half, 5 of which ended in turnovers, 1 a turnover on downs, with 2 defensive touchdowns. So a great job by the Pendleton defense, not only pitching a shutout, but also adding some points to the scoreboard. Brody Sprayberry kicks it away to start this second half of action, fielded by number 2, DJ Brown, across the 35 before he's finally stopped at the 37-yard line.
And this second half is going to be a show of resilience from Carolina Academy and also a show of some of the lesser-used players for the Bulldogs. So you're going to get to see from maybe a different quarterback other than Dak Sallin. You're going to see from some younger guys, i.e. Landon Vaughn, Jamarion Morrison, Andrew Banks, maybe even Braden Bailey, like a bunch of these younger, talented guys. Colt Davis, number 84. We're going to see more of them in this second half as the Bulldogs continue to go. But for now, the defense is going to stay out there and try to do exactly what they did in the first half, which is pitch a shutout.
So the first drive of the second half for the Trojans will begin on their own 35-yard line. Got someone new at quarterback. Actually, no, it's still going to be Jalen Patterson, the junior. Patterson takes a snap, a shotgun toss, hits the deck on the first play. A Bulldog had it for a moment, but I think the Carolina able to fall on top of it at the 29-yard line for a loss of 6. Trojans avoid disaster on the opening play of the second half.
Really thought that was going to be yet another turnover for the Trojans there, but luckily they're able to fall on it.
Second down and 16, just underway in the third quarter of action. Trojans from the 29-yard line. On the left hash, actually between the hashes. Patterson takes a snap, hands it up the middle to his running back, number 28. That's Bryson McMoore with a nice gain of about 7 yards to bring up third down and 9, from the 36-yard line. Trojans trying to get the run game established here on the opening drive of the second half, as throwing the ball in the first half led to a lot of interceptions and drives that stalled out. So an early third and long test for the Trojans here, 90 seconds into the second half. Patterson takes a snap, hands it off up the middle once again to Bryson McMoore, and McMoore once again stonewalled after a gain of 1.
Some more interesting formations being deployed by the Trojans in the second half, having more guys in the backfield alongside Patterson. It's been strictly shotgun for the most part in the first half. So maybe some different looks trying to keep ball security at an utmost importance.
Carolina will send the punt team on the field. This will be the first time they have punted all night. It's kind of hard to believe when you have 0 on the scoreboard at halftime. When you turn the ball over 5 times with a turnover on downs, this is what happens. First punt of the night, it'll be Norberto Godinez for the punt on 4th and 8. Back deep to return, the Bulldogs punter, Sam Jennings. Also serves as a slot receiver, and I believe the 4th-string quarterback.
Interested to see if this one gets to Jennings if he wants to do anything with it.
High punt by Godinez is going to be caught at the 38-yard line. A fair catch made by Jennings. So with 9:20 remaining in the third quarter, Bulldogs leading by 41. They will look to get in the end zone again and perhaps initiate the running clock. Elsewhere in high school football, Seneca out to a 16-0 lead over Daniel. 94-yard punt return touchdown by Jerb Hunter to put the Bobcats up 2 scores. First down run for Jenkins. Deshaun Jenkins, his first carry of the second half, gets out to the left for no gain. Great job by number 12, Amir Abercrombie, the linebacker, coming down to make the stop.
In other games around the state of South Carolina, number 9, Gaffney, and number 14, Spartanburg, tied at 7 at halftime. Number 13, T.L. Hanna, hosting Malden. They're up 21-7 at half. West Oak up 27-0 on Greenwood Christian, and 3A opponent for the Bulldogs, BHP, up 31-0.
Second down run for Jenkins. A couple of jump cuts in the backfield, and he'll gain about 5 on the play. Gets to the 44-yard line of the Bulldogs. Line to gain is the 48, so 3rd and 4 with 8:25 remaining in the third quarter. Bulldogs leading 41-0. Brace Spear, a couple touchdowns. Mello Mattress, a touchdown. Deshaun Jenkins, a touchdown. Bulldogs looking to add to their 41-0 lead. Allen takes a snap, fires it in a screen to the right side to Sam Jennings, making the stop for Carolina is number 0, Nakeem Boston. Bring up 4th and 3 from the 45. Coach Howell is going to send the punt team out for Pendleton. They'll punt it right back to the Trojans. Already 4.5 minutes coming off the clock in this third quarter of action after a very long hour and 15-minute plus first half.
Yeah, without the running clock into effect here, the Bulldogs still doing a good job of chipping away against the time.
Jennings, a booming punt, lands inside the 20 and will trickle out of bounds at the 17-yard line. That's over 35 yards on the punt, one of his better punts of the season. Carolina Academy will have their second possession of this second half starting at their own 17-yard line.
So the Bulldogs not able to get that extra score that would push it into a running clock. The defense looking to maybe get another turnover. We saw Patterson put the ball on the ground last drive. It's getting a little more wet here. It's misty. Our booth is fogging up a little bit. So this ball a little bit wet. Not really able to be controlled in the same proximity it was earlier in the game. A little misty, not so much rain, but more just, things kind of getting a little humid.
1st and 10 from the left hash. Jalen Patterson takes the snap for Carolina, hands it off to the left to one of his running backs. Couldn't see the number on my initial glance, but it is number 10, Caleb Gamble, the sophomore, the first running back we saw in the game for the Trojans. He picks up enough for the first down, made it up to the 27-yard line of Carolina to move the chains.
Other games around the state of note. Travelers Rest down 7-10 against Greer in the second quarter. South Lake Christian up 28-16 on the Anderson Cavaliers. North Augusta up 20-17 in a tight one in the third against Gray Collegiate. And the last one will be after the next play.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line for the Trojans on the left hash. Patterson takes a snap, hands it off up the middle to Gamble yet again. Gamble trying to bounce off the pile, loses the football, it's on the deck, and Pendleton has it yet again. Preston Barnes, the reserve linebacker, on the recovery, and he is fired up.
Just what we were talking about, Sam. These reserves in the second half really showcasing themselves, and a fumble recovery. Put the ball on the ground, it's wet, ball is moist. These guys want it, right? Preston Barnes, the junior linebacker, number 22, showing something for himself. And he gives his offense an opportunity to put the nail in the coffin on the clock.
Absolutely.
Inside the 20 now.
Ball on the 16 for Pendleton. The backup quarterback now into the game. Grayson Wynn, the senior, have not seen him take any snaps for the Bulldogs yet this season.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Wynn was a captain a couple games ago for the Bulldogs, so very cool to see him get some snaps.
It's a miscommunication early. The Wynn was not ready for the snap, but nor were several of the offensive linemen, as a false start will back Pendleton up to the 21-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15. Two receivers to the left, one to the right for Wynn. Wynn hands it off up the middle to Spear. Spear bounces off one tackler, gets off to the right side before being tackled down around the original line of scrimmage before the false start. He gains 5 on the play, 2nd down and 10. Great job by Spear on the play.
Spear had to fight against multiple defenders. Went left, broke a tackle. Went right, broke a tackle. Cut back up the middle to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Very cool, as there was a lot of pressure coming off the edges.
2nd down and 10. Into the game at receiver, number 29, Landon Moody, and number 80, Spencer Martin. Nice to see the young guys get some runs here in the third quarter. And another issue with the cadence, several Pendleton players moving early before the snap. Another false start will back Pendleton up those 5 yards that they just got back, and it'll be 2nd and 15 now. Also in at receiver, number 28, Zion Collymore, likely the younger brother of Zy Collymore. Freshman defensive back and receiver. 2nd and 15 now from the right hash for Wynn. Wynn takes a snap, hands it off to Spear. Spear following some blockers, reverses field. Then he's going to be tackled for loss, as flying in from the safety position was Jarrett Banks, the junior. Does a nice job in run support as the Bulldogs lose another 5 or so yards. It'll actually be a loss of 6. Now all the way back to the 26-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 21. Not the drive that the Bulldogs were looking for, just a point away from the threshold for the running clock. Once again, Grayson Wynn in at quarterback, the senior reserve for Pendleton. He'll hand it off up the middle to Jenkins. Jenkins with a nice burst of speed, stays on his feet across the 20, still dragging defenders as he tries to fight his way forward. Finally tackled down at the 17-yard line to bring up 4th down and 12.
You think they go for the field goal here to maybe put this into a 44-point game?
Looks like that's what they're trying to do here. Sprayberry is on, as is the rest of the field goal unit. This will be a 35-yard field goal attempt near the left hash for Sprayberry. I believe this is his first field goal attempt of the season. Snap, the hold. The kick is blocked. It was a tough hold, and it's blocked by the Trojans. They will recover at the 31-yard line and set up shop there. Sam Jennings had trouble with the snap and could not get the laces turned around in time. And by that time, Sprayberry was kicking it, and Carolina had several defenders there to get a hand on the football.
So the Trojans still fighting against the running clock with 3:55 left to go in the third. They'll get the ball back, and hopefully they keep this one in their own hands.
This drive for Carolina beginning at their own 31-yard line with 3:55 remaining in the third quarter. Trojans still rolling with Jalen Patterson at quarterback. This drive starting on the right hash. They line up with 5 receivers in the formation. Jalen Patterson all by himself in the backfield. 3-man front for the Bulldogs. Patterson claps for the snap. Has some time. Fires a sidearm throw. Almost intercepted by number 12, Koo Dean. Man, Dean is going to wish he had that one back. He jumped the route, just not able to hang on. Tough play to make the catch when you're jumping the route like that. You're overextending your body, but that's definitely one that he wishes he had back. So instead of an interception, it falls incomplete and brings it up 2nd and 10 for this Trojan offense that has really struggled to move the football tonight without penalties. Haven't really seen much of Patterson use his legs. Don't know if that's an option that they want to try here. Patterson, the 5'11", 240-pound quarterback, definitely would be a hard tackle for this Pendleton defense. Takes a snap this time, rolls out to his right, pump fakes, and now fires, looking down the near sideline, but falls incomplete. He overthrew Cameron Reeder around midfield, right in front of the Pendleton sideline. Falls incomplete for another 3rd down and 10. As we were going to bring you more high school football scores before that fumble recovery by Pendleton. Number 16, Dorman, leading James Burns, number 7. 23-14 at the halftime favor of Dorman. Woodmont up 22-10 over Easley. That's a pretty interesting one. Number 24, Greenville, 20-0 lead over J.L. Mann in the third. And then a big one, high scoring, number 17, Sumter up 57 on Lugoff Elgin in 34 in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs leading 41-0 here. The defense, 3rd down and 10 on the field. Eluding a sack is Patterson. He fires a drag route complete over the middle to number 2, DJ Brown. Brown out of bounds short of the first down by about 3 yards. It'll be 4th and 3 from the 38-yard line. Likely a go-for-it situation here for the Trojans. Trojans getting the play in from the sideline. Jalen Patterson all night has been running to the sideline to hear the play from his head coach and then running it back into the huddle and communicating it to his teammates. They get to the line now. Empty formation. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. 4th down and 4 officially for the Trojans. Patterson takes the snap, drops back. He's looking to run it up the middle himself. Has enough for the first down across the 40. His big 240-pound frame rumbling and bumbling ahead for the first down. Patterson using his legs, as Poley over here was suggesting. I was very intrigued as they went 5 wide on a 4th down and 3. Really perplexed by that move, but when Patterson was able to step up in the pocket, he went a little horizontal even too on the line. He was able to get that first down. I guess that created a lot of space for the big guy to get forward. Really like when they are able to use his legs right now because although 240 pounds, tough to tackle and decent speed. So a rare first down for the Trojans, and now Jordan Rice back in at quarterback as Jalen Patterson maybe needing to catch his breath on the sideline after that quarterback keeper. Rice is going to hand it off to Corday Davis, and Davis tackled for a loss by number 27, Noah Bagwell. Another reserve linebacker making a play. Loss of 3 on the play. Great job by the Bulldog defense. And now with the starting quarterback, Jordan Rice, back in the game, interested to see if there's a quarterback controversy in Greenville. See if, maybe now we fall back under 500. Do we go with Rice? Do we go with Patterson for the duration of the season? Obviously, Patterson has the youth. He'll be at the helm next year. Is that the switch that you make and you let Rice focus full-time on defense? Definitely be interesting to see. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Rice floats a screen pass throw that likely could have been intercepted if not for Kudeen falling down on the play. Still falls incomplete as the intended receiver was number 11, Cameron Reeder.
Yeah, that's dangerous pass there. If that pass was not floated up and over out of the reach of both the DB and the receiver, that surely would have been picked off. Great job jumping the route there from Pendleton, number 12, Kudeen.
3rd and 12 now for the Trojans from the 42. Still in at quarterback is Jordan Rice. Rice takes the snap, fakes the handoff, he'll keep it himself. Stays on his feet, doesn't have enough for the first down, but does get to the 50 to bring it to 4th down and 4. Rice showing off the speed. He's a good bit faster than his counterpart in Patterson. Patterson 5'11", 240. Jordan Rice 6'3", 190. So a long and lean frame.
And another 4th down and short, 4th down and 4 now.
Now back into the game is the bigger quarterback, Jalen Patterson. We saw him keep it himself on the last 4th down. We'll see what they do this time.
Spread out with doubles here.
2 receivers to each side. The running back in the formation is Corday Davis. Patterson takes a snap. He's looking to throw quickly. Jumping the route again, but falling incomplete out of the outstretched hands of Cameron Reeder. There'll be a turnover on downs yet again for this Bulldog defense. Kudeen was in coverage again looking for the interception, but he couldn't quite get his arms out there.
Yeah, that one through the hands of number 11, Cameron Reeder. Maybe should have come down with that one. Dean, a little overzealous there on that one, because that one he probably should have played more back than trying to jump it. But obviously with all the turnovers been tossed around the yard today, can't blame him for getting a little overzealous.
So a lot of theatrics in the first half, and in the second half it's been punt, fumble, blocked field goal, turnover on down. So definitely a tale of two halves stylistically for these two teams.
Duality of college football, duality of high school football, duality of pro football. Any football you put, you'll get the most beautiful offensive scoring one side or the next, and then a punt fest in the other.
Absolutely. Grayson Wynn back in at quarterback. He'll hand it off on 1st down to number 34. I'm actually not sure who number 34 is. We don't have a 34 on the roster we were given at the beginning of the season. We'll try to pick up his name from the public address announcers. He does gain 2 yards on 1st down for the Bulldogs. Number 29, Landon Moody, is going to be forced to leave the game because his knee pads are not covering his knees. See, the high school officials love to enforce that rule more than any other, seems like, at this level.
Junior tight end number 85, George Kent, will come in to replace him.
Wynn takes a snap yet again. He'll hand it out to number 34. Once again, gains 1 yard on the play, and that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. So no scoring happening in the third quarter. Bulldogs still in firm control. Your score, Pendleton 41, Carolina 0. Head to the fourth quarter. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Kitten Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Getting Chili Ice Cream Truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home,
Sam Goodrow, David Poley back with you here as we start the fourth quarter of action. Colt Davis on the past 2 carries for the Bulldogs, and now taking the snap and handing it off to Grayson Wynn to number 26, Jordan Lewis. Another young running back getting a carry. No gain on the play, brings up 4th down. Bulldogs, who led by 41 at halftime, still trying to get to that threshold of 42 points to initiate the running clock. They're unable to do it yet again, and they will punt it away.
Lewis made a good defensive play earlier in the game. Could not get much on that carry there. And the Bulldogs having to punt it away is definitely frustrating at this point. Obviously, you're going to walk away from this game incredibly happy, but you do want to get that one more score on the board so that you can just get out of this game as safe as possible.
Sam Jennings on to punt for the Bulldogs. Snap goes over his head to the 30-yard line. He's going to have to pick it up. Still running. He punts it away, and it's going to go out of bounds probably around the 35-yard line. That was a hilarious play.
That one might have gotten in the stands.
It definitely went over the hedges that separate the field from the bleachers.
And it did go in the stands. Fan just threw it back.
Wow, made it into the stands. You don't see that very often where it goes over the punter's head. He picks it up, keeps running, and then kind of punts it rugby style. Not for many more yards, but they're going to mark it at the 40-yard line, so that's better than around the 25 where he was punting it from.
Hey, the student section's all dressed in their ancient Greek attire. Jennings just probably wanted to be a little democratic, honoring them, getting the fans involved, just like ancient Greece, first ever democracy. So just having some fun over here as the fans having fun, this big blowout win on, it's Parks and Recreation night, right?
Absolutely, I love it.
Awesome.
Parks and Recreation night around the stadium. Seems to be Greek night with a lot of the students in the student section wearing tunics. With 11 minutes and 1 second remaining in the game, Bulldogs up 41-0. First down play for the Trojans will be a handoff. The running back will run it off the left side for a gain of 3 yards. That's number 10, Caleb Gamble, on the carry. Jalen Patterson back in at quarterback for the Trojans. Actually give him 4 on the play to the 36. Second down and 6 from the left hash. Trojans going from our right to left. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, tight end in the formation. Trojans went with a hard count and thought they got Pendleton to jump, but they'll call a false start on one of the interior offensive linemen, so that'll back the Trojans up an additional 5 yards.
Yeah, great job by the right edge of Pendleton, anchored by number 94 for Pendleton. That's Colton Ray, the sophomore defensive lineman. He really forced the Trojan left guard to jump.
Second and 11 from the 41-yard line. Stacking the box are the Bulldogs. Gamble on the carry. Slowly navigates his way across the 40 down to the 37-yard line. So a 4-yard gain brings up 3rd down and 7.
So 4th down and 7 now. With Patterson in the game, you probably want some ability to go for it. Obviously down 40-plus points, clock ticking under 10. You have ability to get some guys out wide. Obviously, now in this long scenario, you got 2 more shots at it. Want to probably get some of your guys out on the edges in open space.
Clock still moving, 9:20 to go, 3rd down and 7 from the 37-yard line for the Trojans. Rolling out to the right now is Patterson. Patterson looking to throw as a receiver, and he brings it down on a jump ball at the 22-yard line for the first down. That is number 24, Jared Banks, utilizing his 6'2 frame to go up and snag that one out of the Pendleton sky for the first down.
Yeah, that one right over the head of the Pendleton defender, trying to raise that left arm up and pick that off, break it up, whatever, but great job by Patterson going out to the right side and making a play with something out of nothing. His ability to roll out has honestly been pretty impressive tonight despite the score.
Patterson trying to lead the Trojans to the end zone for the first time tonight. He's flushed out to the left on this play. He'll fire this one into the end zone off the hands of the receiver a little bit behind him in the end zone. 3 black shirts in the area. Intended receiver was Cameron Reeder, and I think Reeder would tell you he needs to haul that one in, but it falls incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10.
And the Trojan starter still in the game, honestly looking pretty effective against these Pendleton backups now late in the 4th. Not as gassed as you would think, being down 40-plus points. The guys are still moving pretty well.
2nd and 10. The clock stops for the incompletion. 8:44 to play with Pendleton leading 41-0 here at home after the bye week, looking to move to 2-3 on the season. 2nd and 10 from the 22 for the Trojans, handing it off up the middle to number 4, Corday Davis. And Davis going to gain about 8 yards down to the 15-yard line. Bring up 3rd down and short for the Trojans, who have not gotten the football this far on the Bulldog defense yet tonight. This is by far their best drive and longest drive.
A real legitimate chance to score here with the way that they've been consistently moving the football. Would go wonders into their matchup next week, which they should get a win against 0-5 Palmetto. They were able to beat Southside. They were able to beat Berea. Should be getting back up to 500 next week.
3rd and 2 from the 14. Patterson hands it off to Corday Davis, and Davis stumbles ahead for the first down. But then the ball comes out, and they're going to rule him down before the fumble. So it'll be a 1st down at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal from the 7 after the Corday Davis run, where he did lose the football at the end. Disaster avoided for the Trojans. That would have been their 7th turnover of the game.
Yikes. Unlucky number 7, that situation. 1st down and goal now. They really have an opportunity to just keep it going with their run game. Davis and Gamble, let those guys do what they can with their short stature and shifty speed.
Takes the snap, hands it off to Davis again, and Davis lunges into the end zone for the touchdown. Corday Davis cuts the lead to 41-6.
5'4", 160, Corday Davis, the senior, all heart, battling for his team to the very end in this 4th quarter, able to break the shutout for the Bulldogs, spoil them, and give his team some life going into a must-win next week.
On to attempt the extra point is number 64, Aiden Rodriguez, a 5'7", 275-pound offensive lineman and defensive lineman. Is coming out to attempt the extra point. This is not something you see every day.
A holder also is under 6 foot, almost surely. It's a very funny visual.
He'll snap it directly to big number 64, and he will try to run it around the right side and be tackled by the 2nd Bulldog defender to get to him. So the 2-point try is no good, and the Bulldogs lead by 35, 41-6.
I'd say you don't see that every day, but I don't think I've seen that ever.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've ever seen that either. A direct snap to a 275-pound offensive lineman on an extra point attempt.
With like a 5'4" holder.
Especially when you could just go line it up from the 2-yard line.
And maybe give your guy something. Yeah, just give him a little William the Fridge Perry fullback dive.
A little bit crazy there, but nonetheless, a 41-6 lead now for the Bulldogs with 7:24 remaining in the game.
Bulldogs going to look to give Wynn and company some really good experience because obviously Wynn is a senior, but he's done so much for this program would just really give him a lot of opportunity to get a scoring touchdown drive. Maybe even a passing touchdown would be incredible because this is one of their biggest opportunities that he's going to have all season in a blowout game at home to really make his legacy on this program shown on the field besides what he's done for the locker room.
Absolutely. Kicking off tonight for just the 2nd time, Norberto Godinez, 5'9", 205-pound senior who also plays some running back and linebacker for the Trojans. Kicks it away from the 40-yard line. Will be fielded at the 15 by Mello Mattress. Actually, Jace Harrison Widner. And Widner reverses field at the 30 and makes it up all the way to the 41-yard line. That's where Pendleton offense will take over.
And Whitner's got to be sitting to around 20 yards on average return this season. He's just done an incredible job of reversing field. Gets a good block from Sam Jennings, his partner there, who is going to possibly receive. Jennings does a great job of getting from his left to his right, blocking for Whitner, who takes that up all the way to the 40. So puts the offense in a really good position to run this clock out.
1st and 10 from the 40. Grayson Wynn still in at quarterback, number 18. 3 receivers to the left. Cole Davis, the running back in the formation. They'll hand it off to Davis on 1st down. Davis fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage, which he will before his forward progress is stopped by several white jerseys.
Yeah, pressure early there on the edge didn't allow Davis to do much on the inside. But the clock will go under 7 nonetheless.
6:55 to play. 2nd down and 10 from the 40 for the Bulldogs. Wynn takes a snap. Has some trouble. He's just going to have to fall on it and eat it at the 31-yard line. Snap bounced off his chest. Caromed backwards about 5 additional yards to the 31 before he fell on top of it.
Yeah, that just shows to the lack of reps so far this season. You know, obviously, center's coming in there. That's Pendleton's number 59. Mason Wilson, the junior, hasn't really had a lot of time to work with Wynn especially. Wynn's got to grab that, though, as he's going to need to run a pretty well-executed play on this drive right here.
3rd and 19 from the 31 now, and a screen play to Cole Davis. Davis catches it at the 35, still on his feet across the 45, across the 50 for the 1st down. A nice run after catch for Cole Davis. He caught the football at around the 39-yard line, and then got about 12 after the catch. Actually, give him 17 after the catch, all the way into Carolina territory at the 45-yard line. And the most important thing is that clock keeps moving with Pendleton having the football.
And a lot of times you get on quarterbacks for checking down in those situations. But in this situation late in the game, you go through your reads, you hit the right guy, and you trust that your guy can make a play. Colt Davis does a great job of shedding a tackle and then just hugging the edge to go all the way for the 1st down.
Wynn takes a snap. He fires it quickly over to the left to number 28, Zion Collmore, younger brother of Zy Collmore. He's going to have enough for the 1st down, but there is a flag on the far sideline near the line of scrimmage.
So another penalty backs up the Bulldogs with 5.5 to go.
This one will back the Bulldogs up 10 yards back to their own 45-yard line. Actually, they'll put it at the 47, so it'll be 1st and 18. Bulldogs leading 41-6 with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the game.
Wynn really looked good on those 2 passes there.
Timeout now spent by Pendleton, their first of the half. We're going to talk things over ahead of this 1st down play. Pendleton really able to play a lot of their young players in the program. We're able to call a lot of names that we don't get to call in competitive games and in games in which the Bulldogs are trailing. But a nice opportunity for guys like Cole Davis, Grayson Wynn, some other younger players as well getting in at receiver.
Zion Collymore for
Spencer
his
Martin
game call.
getting in a couple times.
Absolutely.
Landon Moody in the game right now. Zion Collymore, like you mentioned.
Jordan Lewis.
After a 30-second timeout, 1st and 18 for the Bulldogs with 5:11 to go. Wynn takes a snap. They'll run that jailbreak screen to Zion Collymore this time. He'll gain about 7 yards on the play across the 50 yet again into Carolina territory at the 48. Zion Collymore looking like a player that will be dependable over the next 3 years for Coach Howe in this Pendleton Bulldog program.
Only a freshman. Coach Howe wants to get him some action on that jailbreak screen, a staple of this Bulldogs offense for years to come.
Taking the snap and handing it off yet again is Wynn. This time, I believe couldn't see the number. Guess it would have had to have been number 26, Jordan Lewis, on the play. He'll gain 2 yards to bring up 3rd and 10 from the 45 with 4 minutes to go.
So a 3rd down here, interested to see if they pass, give Wynn some confidence.
3rd and 10 from the right hash. Wynn drops back to pass. He'll fire for Zion Collmore. Has blockers ahead. He's following those blockers. Cuts up field. Finally dragged down inside the 20. Zion Collmore looking to help put the Carolina Academy Trojans away here as the Bulldogs lead by 35, under 4 minutes to play.
And just fantastic blocking by Gaines Buchanan and Mason Wilson, number 56 and 59. Got all the way out there. The defense over-pursued on the edge, and Collymore was just able to follow those 2 big guys who were all the way up into the level of the safeties, and they did not want any piece of the 2 big offensive linemen.
3:30 to play. Bulldogs lead by 35. Handoff up the middle to Colt Davis. Davis going to be tackled for a loss of 2. Clock continues to move. Valuable experience for some young Bulldogs tonight. Pendleton led 41-0 at the half. Obviously a much lower scoring second half affair, but great to see the young guys get some run.
Really good for Grayson Wynn, too. Obviously passed over for the quarterback job in the midst of the injury to Jackson Allman for Dax Allen, but really showing his stuff right now.
2nd down, handoff to Colt Davis on an outside zone, and Davis going to be dragged down for a loss of another 3 yards. Under 3 minutes to play, 2:42 and counting. 3rd and 15 now from the 21 for the Bulldogs. Two receivers to each side. Wynn takes a snap. He'll scramble out to his left. He's going to keep it himself. Tucks it down. Looks for that far sideline before being dragged down for a gain of 1 yard. We'll bring up 4th down and 14 from the 20 as the clock approaches 2 minutes to play.
It's a great college football to be played tomorrow, Sam. A lot of awesome games to look forward to in the Saturday slate. Very great night of high school football around the country tonight. Just, great football all around, and Pendleton faithful are going to be really happy. Tigers don't have to play tomorrow, and the Bulldogs win on Friday night.
Wow, so the Bulldogs are actually going to try another field goal here. They're going to try a 37-yard field goal from the left hash. It'll be Brody Sprayberry yet again. Snap. Kick doesn't even come up off the ground again. It's going to just knuckle a few yards, and that is about as short as you can leave a field goal attempt right there. It's just a ground ball that pretty much came right back to the long snapper on the play. Obviously no good. Carolina Academy will take over at their own 22-yard line.
Means that the ball will most likely end in the hands of the Carolina Academy Trojans, trying to put one more on the board, or they'll run it out. Valiant effort by the Trojans staying in and avoiding that running clock that the Bulldogs almost had lock and key.
Yeah, and credit to the Trojans pitching a second half shutout. Bulldogs had their way with the Trojans in the first half, forced 5 turnovers. All 5 turnovers led to scores. In the second half, Bulldogs failed to reach the end zone. 1:29 to play. Bulldogs in firm control, up 35. New quarterback in for the first time Number 7, Timothy Fowler, the sophomore, he's usually a receiver, takes the direct snap himself for about 4 yards. We'll give him 3 on the play to the 25.
And it seems like that'll be the way that they choose to go out with it. Talk to both of the quarterbacks, Patterson and Rice, on the sideline, and go out with Fowler getting some experience, the sophomore, 5'10". Maybe he's their quarterback of the future once Patterson leaves, but super athletic guy. We've seen him on the offensive side of the ball catch some passes tonight. Very slow in the huddle. They're very content running this one out.
This should be the last play of the game. 42 seconds to go. Still in the quarterback is Fowler. Fowler takes a snap, fakes the handoff, will keep it himself off the left end. Across the 30, dives forward for the first down. And that should do it for the game. 18 seconds, the clock's still moving. Looks like Carolina Academy just going to be content to head to the buses after this 35-point deficit. The clock at 5 seconds is going to trickle down to 0. So our final score is going to be 41-6, and it now is officially final. 41-6, Bulldogs on top. Bulldog defense forced 6 turnovers in the game, 5 in the first half, and a pick 6 in the second, and a fumble recovery in the second half. Bulldog defense held out of the end zone. They had 4 offensive drives that ended in a punt, a blocked field goal, a punt, and another missed field goal. So as we enter the Reigns on Exchange post-game show, looking ahead to next week, David, a road test for the Bulldogs heading to Travelers Rest. The first road game wasn't too kind for the Bulldogs at Chesney, but another opportunity, I believe, in region play, correct? Next week.
Pretty positive. Yeah, it'll be a big-time matchup. Obviously, Travelers Rest still in their matchup right now, but Pendleton moving to 9-3 all-time against Carolina Academy. Just a great addition to their resume right here in Cunningham Stadium. They'll be traveling next week to Travelers Rest. See what I did there? And it'll be a game where they're taking a lot of momentum into it. Momentum badly needed, momentum, that was generated from the bye week. And they'll have an opportunity to get multiple wins in a row, and they really should come out of Travelers Rest with a win.
That's going to do it for us here from Pendleton High School. Your score, Pendleton 41, Carolina 6. Stay tuned for next week's broadcast at Travelers Rest between the 2 and 3 Bulldogs and the Travelers Rest Devil Dogs as we open region play on the road next week. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors, including our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse, Reigns on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Hidden Chili Ice Cream Truck, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, Foothills Community Church, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, Tiger Express Wash, United Community Bank, Mac.Bid, Absolute Law Firm, Ken Rowland State Farm, Empire Homes. Thank you to all of our great sponsors. That's going to do it for us here from Pendleton High School. For David Poley, I'm Samuel Goodrow saying good night and go Bulldogs.